Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. Pub Sports Radio, that's where we are right now. This is, of course, the Loshak and the Bag Show. Tuesday, June 28th. We do this every single Tuesday with Jimmy the Bag, with myself, with Jose Bouquet on the ones and twos, and, of course, the comment section, the invaluable comment section. It's a huge amount of fun, sometimes profitable. Jimmy the Bag, to fill you in, to fill everyone in. I switched up my look for luck about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I've had 4 winning weeks in a row, right, Jimmy the Bag? And that is, I said, switching up my look. Not going to change it until the luck runs out, until I have a losing week. And for 4 weeks in a row, I've had a winning week. That look, of course, is goofy college kid, backwards baseball hat, ratty Bob Marley shirt, and sometimes some shades. These shades are not really goofy. These are more like my batty aunt from Boca Raton. But, I'm wearing them right now anyway. Jimmy the Bag, how you doing? I'm going for a 5th straight winning week this week.
I believe in you very, very much. We apologize for starting off a little late. The power is out in the part of the San Antonio region. So Jose is going to do his best with a hot spot to help us out. But thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm excited to start the week with you. You've been rolling really nice. You finished the year winning 6 straight in NHL. Mm-hmm. I think that it is necessary to touch on that nice end to your season. And you finished the season in the black. And that's all you can ask for. 89 wins, 74 losses, plus 2.66 units, ROI plus 1.63%. That's all you can ask for. So great work.
Thank you very much, Jimmy the Bag. Of course, if I listened to you on the comment section a little bit more, the record would have been even better. But I'm happy with the degree to which I did listen and the official record that wound up being the case for me, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, it was impressive. And you're rolling nice in MLB. We have Tease joining us for one game in WNBA. He is 6-2 on our show, hitting at 75% plus 3.86 units. I am ready to fucking rock, man. I'm ready to rock. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Everybody in the chat. We have Jason M. in the house has been following you guys since 2018. Can we get low-hanging fruit from Pistol Pete? Says this Aussie needs some beer money. We have Jason.
Sure. Today's card is tough. I've actually been, these past few weeks, I've been pimping a little bit more than I've been capping. Usually I'm just pure capping and almost zero pimping. These past few weeks, a little bit, about 60% pimping, 40% capping. Today's card, yesterday I'm really pissed off because I missed a bunch of obvious spots, and I kind of missed them. Today's card, I've bet pretty lightly. We can start off this. I do think there's some low-hanging fruit. Tampa Bay, first 3. Woodruff against Baz. Not saying it's a lock. Saying that I would consider that to be low-hanging fruit. Tampa Bay, first 3. But we'll get to that game when we get to it. But request for low-hanging fruit, there one does come to mind on today's card. Tampa Bay, first 3, or I guess first 5 if you can't bet first 3s.
I've already moved on the first 3 myself.
No shit.
Frankie Montas and the Oakland Athletics. I moved on the first 3. I got plus 140. I'm sure you can find better than that. That's the only bet I've made already so far. Viper MB making moves here. Viper is on the cards, first 5 minus a half. Rays money line, Nats money line, Orioles money line. Says plugging my nose on the Orioles money line. Says Robbie Ray is trash.
Not last 3 games. That's up for debate. We'll debate that when we get around to that game. Fascinating game, yeah.
Southpaw ready to get to work, and thank you, Jose, saying check your mic. Let me do that very quickly. And yes, Jose is absolutely right. Even without internet, our producer doing the best job he can on the right microphone. Thank you for that, Jose. We are back in business here. Stella Girl, great to have Stella Girl. I don't know if you've capped with Stella Girl, but very, very strong capper. And was very helpful this past week. D. Jenkins ready to go. Mark Schillingberg, Dennis Garcia coming from a great Stanley Cup Finals has got to fade. So many dumb narratives, work like a charm, missing it already. I did not have a great Stanley Cup Finals, but I had a great playoffs and ended up double-digit units and then had just the best futures I've had since 2017. And it's so big that I can't get paid until the day after Canada Day. So July 2nd, that's how much fucking money I'm getting that my local has to get his shit together to be able to pay me all this fucking money, which I'm happy about. And he can take not much more time than that But if he needs a little bit extra time because it's 5 figures, then take it. Nasty Nate ready to go. Professor
Hell
Chris
yeah.
in the house. Paco Healy, Walla Walla Dose, Paul Trippy. Great to see Paco Healy. LJ from H-Town being running nice. So is Dom Mack, 13-3-2 Saturday to Monday. Getting hot. I love hearing that. Love hearing that. Southpaw saying that your Shades game is strong.
Hell
Speaking
yeah.
of strong, Jay Peasy has been recording the intros for the shows here at Pub Sports Radio, and they're fire. Oh, man. Peasy, the truth, man. Peasy got bars. Peasy got heat, and he's hooking us all up with intro songs. I absolutely fucking love it. I love it. There's Coin ready to go. Nasty Nate says, Pete, please give your aunt back your shades. Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Shout out to Nasty Nate for making the aunt from Boca Raton joke. Even before I did, shout out to you, Nasty Nate. Mediocre minds think alike. Hell yeah. Mediocre comedic minds think especially alike. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate.
And Robert Franklin hit the Avs in 6 at plus 400. I love that. Cheech Marinas, he's coming off his own $15,000 casher at Royal Ascot. Little trifecta cost him $6, Pete. He picked up $15K off of it. Pretty nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Nutflush Allen, seeing you. Nutflush Allen, bowing down to Nutflush Allen as a person and a capper. Hell yeah. Bowing down in 2 ways to you, Nutflush. Shout out to Nutflush Allen.
Nutflush Allen took his kids to Vegas, and there they all hung out with half of the Vegas Gun team. They hung out with Lily Gunn, whom we love dearly. It was just wonderful to see the picture of that. Yes, Jeffrey Moore. I also cashed that plus 600. Very, very, very nice. Very, very nice. And do you know what, Pete? On January 21st, I made future bets. Now, I'd already moved in on the Avs, but I moved in again on the Avs, and I didn't get the line that I got, the plus 600, the first time I moved on them. But on January 21st, 2022, I bet the Colorado Avalanche to win the Western Conference and win the Stanley Cup, and I bet the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Eastern Conference and win the Stanley Cup. One night, 4 bets. It was a great day. I didn't realize I did it on the same day. Because I had to send in all my futures, and I was like, God damn, did that on the same fucking day.
I'm already looking forward to next NHL season, Jimmy the Bag.
Same here. I didn't have a good regular season. I need to get my shit together. Sammy Calmer, 7 straight winners in MLB. North Ender ready to rock. Says already miss NHL. By the way, Pete, I closed last year in CFL on 12-1 run. Yeah. I've opened this year on a 9-3 run.
All right. Where can we find your CFL picks, Jimmy the Bag?
Oh, I put them on Twitter, man. I put them all on Twitter. So we make the one bet on Thursday, and then we cap the full card with Babano on Friday.
All right.
And it's 9.
I'll get on Twitter a lot. People say don't go on Twitter because it's toxic. Twitter's freaking awesome. It's not toxic. It's Twitter fucking awesome. I'm going to be on there more.
Creek Man says, Loshak, you big hunk of love.
Oh, thank you very much, Creek Man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's get to work. Pistol Pete Loshak, You're coming off a 7-win, 4-loss day in MLB plus 1.85 units. It was too bad the Twins hurt you because your record could have been spectacular on the last Tuesday. I am coming off a 3-4 Friday. I started out 3-0. And then things fell apart for me. The one that hurt the most was Detroit, Arizona, first 5 under 4.5. The final score was 5-1, but 5 of those runs were scored in the 3rd inning by the Detroit Tigers. So that one hurt. But made a nice chunk back on the Elks plus 8.5, and the Elks team totaled over. And I got everybody at the bachelor party I was at to bet on the Elks and the team total over. Every single person there. I got every single one there to do that. So it felt good. Felt very good. All right. Gas report ready to go. Wine time sports. Rodney Barton says the dog days of summer now. I'm excited that we get to focus all our attention on MLB.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a little
whenever you say, all right, let's get down to business, I'm always reminded of it's all fun and games when you're positive units, but fucking if you go negative, it's still fun, but a different flavor of fun. And then I'm reminded you can't just throw darts and become positive units. You gotta focus and do what you do. So I guess we got to do it now. The hard work starts right now. Let's go, Jimmy the Bag.
Let's go. And for me, Pete, that first year that I worked with you, I got destroyed in MLB, and I came in a very ignorant MLB capper, and I thought I was a good MLB capper, and it took me a few years to figure out a method that works for me. I believe I found it. I'm sitting 150 wins, 128 losses, 54%, plus 9.67 units, ROI plus 3.48%, average line minus 108. Look, a couple bad days I could be in the red, but I think I found it, and I'm excited to get to work. Red girl ready to go. Ulysses Hayes. Craig Schrader says Elks pick paid my mortgage. I was so confident. That's about as confident as I remember being in a bet. And look, I mean, I only covered by 1.5, but the team total was, I was just, okay. Let's get to work. Pete, we're going to start with the double header, 1:10 p.m. Eastern, game one of the double dip. Minnesota Twins, 41-33, 18-16 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians, 36-32, 16-13 at home, Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Devin Smeltzer, the lefty, going up against Zach Plesac. Smeltzer, 4-1, 3.05 ERA, 1.06 whip, 44 and a third, 22 Ks, 11 walks, 7 home runs. His last start, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 Ks, 0 walks, and a 1-0 win at home. Versus the Guardians, he was going up against Zach Plesac, who also had a very nice start. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, sole shot, 6 Ks, and 2 walks. He's 2-5 with a 4.17 ERA, 1.24 whip, 73 and a third, 50 Ks, 17 walks, 11 home runs. Twins versus righties, 256, 723 OPS. That's a really nice number season long. I believe that's third in Major League Baseball OPS wise. Guardians versus lefties, 229, 630 OPS. They struggle versus lefties. Twins bullpen, 3.83 ERA, 1.27 whip, converted 18 of 29. Guardians bullpen been strong all year. 3.30 ERA, 1.19 whip, converted 19 of 26. We will start with the line history. I'll bring in the weather in a second. I don't have that up right now. And then we'll go over the cash. I'll let Pete talk, and then I'll bring in the weather. But it opened up with the Twinkies as slight favorites at minus 115. That was at 7:30 this morning. At 9:37 this morning, there was a 5-cent move to the Guardians. Total-wise, it opened up at 9, and it's moved to 8.5. And it's moved pretty briskly to 8.5. It's now minus 120 to the under 8.5. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we have 3,707 tickets in. Not very many bets on this game. And we talk about the spots on the board that Sports Insights believes that there's line value. Almost nothing on this whole card. Just a few slivers throughout the card, except for one spot, and that's Zach Wheeler and the Philadelphia Phillies. That's got about 75% of the bar filled in a line value situation. But here, a tiny sliver on Zach Plesac, 3,707 tickets in, 35% of the tickets on the Guardians, 39% of the cash, then 49% of tickets on the under, and 61% of cash on the under. Take it away here, Pistol Pete. Game one of the double dip Twinkies Guardians.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Both starters, can be okay, can get hit. And both of them have been pitching a little bit better recently. My numbers say that there's a little bit of value on the Guardians, a little bit of value again on the under, and no run in the first inning. I haven't bet any of those yet. The lineups are out. I will probably have a bet. Well, maybe not, because I'm going to have to do it while this show is going on. But I haven't bet it yet. Definitely small lean Guardians. My biggest lean would probably be no run in the first inning. I'm seeing that at minus 105 or so. And very slight lean under, but more so lean to the Guardians here at the current line. A lot low confidence in all of those opinions, but that's what the numbers say have some value here.
Yeah, I think that all makes sense here. I have a bad ROI when I believe that pitchers will sort of mimic what they've done 5 days earlier against the same opposition. It's not that they don't ever do it. I struggle figuring out when they will do it. Weather-wise, 71 Fahrenheit, 6.1 miles per hour in, stays around that throughout the game. We have a lot of stuff coming in from the chat. Viper MB says Smeltzer will have regression. Stellar Girl says Cleveland bullpen been slipping last 2 weeks, 26 in the ERA. So keep that in mind on Minnesota. First 5 says maybe consider first game. Johnny Gonzalez wants Smeltzer's home road splits. I will grab those for you right now. Dav Fenn is on the Twins in game 1. Southpaw caught this under at 9. Professor Chris says the model shows Twins full game minus 132. It has some value there, but not quite enough for me to shoot at it. doesn't have first five data, just giving what he has.
Smeltzer has been significantly worse on the road this year. Small sample size, but significantly worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up here. Red Girls on the Twins first five under, and the Twins first five for Red Girl. LJ from H-Town is on Plesac plus 6 Ks, and the exact numbers for Smeltzer's splits are at home very strong. 1.50 ERA, 2-0, 24 innings. 14K, 6 walks, opponents hitting 148. On the road, 2-1, 4.87 ERA, and opponents are hitting 300 against them. So I can understand the idea that Plesac may be stronger here. All right. So for me, nothing that I really want. Richie Rich says regression for Smeltzer today. Cleveland 5 straight losses. Coin says Twins are 3-1 in Smeltzer's road starts. And there's razor sharp picks in the house. I guess I'm starting to, after talking it all out, and I guess I'm leaning towards, Smeltzer regressing as well. But I can't trust the Guardians to hit lefties. And if I can't trust the Guardians to hit lefties, then I can't really bet it with confidence that Smeltzer will get touched here. Is there anything you want to make official, Pete?
No, I think I'll just pass. No reason to start things off on a crazy note. I kind of like no run in the first inning here. I mean, statistically, I like it a little bit. Personally, it makes me feel. I mean, both starters are obviously not as good as they've been in their most recent starts, but they're also okay. Numbers slight lean to Cleveland, slight lean to no run in the first inning.
And the confirmed lineups for Minnesota: Luis Arraez, Carlos Correa, Max Kepler, Kyle Garlick, Kirilloff, Sanchez, Gordon, Miranda, and Celestino. Turning the line over for the Guardians: Kwan, Rosario, Ramirez, Reyes, Gonzalez, Jimenez, Miller, Leon, and Miles Straw. I do not want to start my card here.
Yeah.
I guess, and Plesac splits are a little stronger at home. 3.34 ERA, but opponents are hitting 279 against them. A little bit less power than when he's on the road. But I just don't find it very comforting at all. When you go to batter versus pitcher, there's some nice numbers for Smeltzer. And same for Plesac, other than Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, but those are the top two hitters. Yeah, I'm not interested in getting my card started today. I'm not going to reach for afternoon action. And Christopher Comtine says no Buxton, no thanks. Of course, I just read the lineups and there's no Buxton there. Okay, let's just speak quickly on the second game of the double dip. We switch arms, so there's a lefty on the mound for the Guardians, and the Twins don't have as much power against lefties. They're 244, but just a 700 OPS. And then the Guardians make a ton of contact versus righties, and we have Josh Winder on the hill for the Twins, fresh off getting touched up at Oakland in a 5-2 loss, going just 3 2/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, and a homer. Pilkington's been good, and I thought that performance at Colorado was better than it looks. Thin air. The Rockies smashed lefties. He went 4 1/3, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 7-5 win. Do you have any interest in the second game? Is there anything you're looking for in the first game?
Not really. I mean, we'll see what happens. That guy from Minnesota been off for a month. He had a shoulder issue. No opinion as of right now. We'll see what happens with game one and what the lineups are for game two.
Yeah.
But shout out to the comment section, giving a lot more awesome insight into this game than Jimmy or I are giving. Shout out to Professor Chris for sharing his model analysis, liking Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota obviously has a much stronger lineup for this game, and Cleveland's bullpen has been terrible recently. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to reach for afternoon action first off, and the quantity for me, I'm not cutting down on quantity. I just need a bunch of things to correlate for me to pull the trigger, and sometimes that's 13 bets as it was last Tuesday, and sometimes it's 4 as it was on Thursday. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves at Philadelphia Phillies is next up. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We'll start with the weather in Philly. 78 Fahrenheit, 5.2 miles per hour in, dips down to 4. So weather not playing a big factor. There's Sterling Winfrey in the house ready to get to work. Wallaby King. Sammy Comer here is on the Phillies.
Jim,
yeah,
can you hold on 1 second? I just want to turn something off here. Can you hold on 1 second? Man. Go ahead. I'm just letting you know. I'll be back in a second, okay?
No worries, my man.
All right.
All right, Wheeler, Morton. We just dropped the weather. Let's move over to the line history in this spot. And again, this is the only spot on the entire card that Sports Insights feels like there's some legitimate line value. They're giving that to the Phillies and Zach Wheeler, but there's been no market move towards them. There was a 5-cent move towards the Braves at 7:30 yesterday, and it's come back. So it's just where it stood, where it opened. From a totals perspective, it opened at 8, dropped to 7.5 at 11 p.m., went back to 8, dropped to 7.5 at 7:43 a.m., and at 8:50 a.m. it moved even more towards the under. So it's at 7.5 right now at a pick'em. And when we take a look at the cash flow in this one, you have 36% of the tickets on Wheeler and the Phillies and 52% of the cash. So some big bets have come in on them. Then you have 38% of tickets on the under and 59% of cash on the under. So that correlates with the reason why the total's gone from 8 to 7.5. But why has there not been a move on the Phillies with the bigger bets coming towards the Phillies? Bill McDonald says no run first inning spot and Braves at plus money. Christopher Comatini says no Harper for Philly pass. That's what Christopher Comatini says. Rob Free says seems like Buxton misses more games than John Wall. Well, they were saying up here when he came up here to Toronto and play, they were saying that if he played a full season, he'd win the most valuable player. But he just can't seem to do that. Charlie Morton seems like he's starting to turn it on and put it together. Yeah, last 2 starts have been impressive. Still has a 4.84 ERA on the year, but 86 Ks to 26 walks, 11 home runs, allowed in 74 in the third, and he's coming off a 4-3 win at home versus the Giants where he went 7 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 11 strikeouts, and no walks. Zach Wheeler coming off a rough start, 4-2 loss at Texas. He allowed all 4 runs, but only 2 of which were earned. He only made it through 4 in the third, 7 hits, 8 Ks, and 3 walks. But he's had a strong season, 2.77 ERA, 1.11 whip. Braves versus righties, 241, 730 OPS. Phillies versus righties, 244, 712 OPS. The Braves bullpen has been a full run better than the Phillies bullpen over 9 innings. And let's see what our chat has to say about that. Razor Sharp Pick says, so everyone's on the Phillies and the line is going towards the Braves. Not quite, Razor, because the public is on the Braves. 64% of the tickets are on the Braves, but 48% of the cash. So that's, there's more to dive in on. Dabby Cab liking the Braves. Yes, Mark Schillingberg, John Wall really did just sign with the Clippers. Picks up $43 million. Just has to give back $6 million, right? It picks up what, $42 million, and then signs a $6.5 million exemption with the Clippers. Wild. Take it away here, Pete. What do you think of this spot, Braves Phillies?
Well, I mean, the big wild card here, or the X factor, is friggin' Charlie Morton. I mean, we've been talking about Charlie Morton for years, Jimmy the Bag, right? At one point in his career, he was on the auto fade list, clearly, and then he turned it around. How did he do it? Not exactly sure. You know my guess. My guess was had a little trenbolone in there, and then recently, I don't know what the hell happened in these past 3 starts. Maybe he's thrown on some Anavar. I don't know, man, some Durabolin, injectable Winnie, but his strikeout to walk ratio last 3 starts is unfriggin' real. You got a 38-year-old guy who's been struggling big time, and then all of a sudden makes a turnaround like that. Is it likely to happen a 4th start in a row? That's really tough. Tough to predict. Obviously, no Bryce Harper is huge for Philly. I don't know what I might have a bet on this by first pitch, but the big question is what to expect from Charlie Morton. 3 starts in a row with that strikeout to walk ratio is no accident. I mean, he gave up a bunch of homers, sure, but what the hell is going on with Charlie Morton? Wheeler, is good. Usually gives up a few, probably will here too. So I was thinking maybe a shot with like the Atlanta team total over might be the safest way to go. But as far as Morton, I have no aside from my list of steroids, no explanation for what caused this turnaround the last 3 games.
Yeah, it's what about the most important split here? And that's what Zach Wheeler's done at home so far this year. 42 and a third innings. He's 4-2 with a 1.49 ERA. Opponents hitting 188 off of him, and they've hit 1 home run off of him in 42 and a third, 48 Ks and 8 walks. That seems to me like the most important angle in here. I mean, it feels like the Phillies' first 5 that there is an advantage with Wheeler on the mound over Morton. But are you saying that with what Morton's done for the last 3 games, that's not the case, really? It's almost a push.
I just wish that this were a classic situation. Harper was in for Philly, right? Morton hadn't upped his Trenbolone dose and was getting hit, and then autoplay on Philly first 5, and more so the Philly first 5 team total over. But with Morton doing what he's done past 3 starts and no Harper for Philly, it's just really tough.
Yeah.
Sammy Comer likes Philly first 5, doesn't care what Morton's done last 3 games, doesn't care about no Bryce Harper.
And I get it. I mean, we don't need much. You got Darno hitting 417 against him. Austin Riley hitting 250 against him. Ozuna 258. Olsen 333. I mean, we don't need much.
Yeah.
We just need 2 runs. Drug Monkey RX says Morton struggling on the road. I don't know. I think it's very fair what Pete is saying is that it's hard to really judge Morton this year.
And Luke Chase Fox here is saying Spider Tack. I don't know about that. I think it's fucking trend. 700 MIGs a week. Jesus, I really want to know the answer. Not so I can bet it and make money off of it. I just want to know, how the hell does he make that switch? Just intellectually curious.
I also think that the Phillies' first 5 is probably worth something. I mean, is it telling that the Braves are even money at Bet365, but first 5 they're minus 105? I mean, the market's saying that there's an advantage for the Braves first 5.
Yeah, I mean, look, if this was if it was anyone other than Charlie Morton, if it was those stats and it was like Wainwright or Cole when he was lights out, of course. It's just, do you trust Morton to have a 4th straight? And he has been giving up some homers, but do you trust Morton to have a 4th straight start where he gets 10 strikeouts and half a walk? I don't know.
I'm surprised. Are you not surprised that the market is giving the Braves at a worse price first 5 than full game when we know they have a bullpen?
JP's saying trend too harsh, probably equipoise. Yeah, it could be dihydroboldenone, JPZ. Dihydroboldenone is also a possibility here.
Wow. Sammy Comer has the Phillies minus 110 full game, minus 118 first 5. Bet365 is the opposite. It's Phillies minus 120 full game, first 5 minus 115. THC's Rizza says Wheeler is a much safer option, in my opinion, at home. Johnny Gonzalez says, I think the first 2 innings Morton will look amazing. After that, he gets touched up. Says public is on Atlanta solely because Harper's out. It's got to be Phillies here. Okay, I guess I'm going to need more time here, but I would prefer, Pete, to trust Wheeler's home splits rather than anything else. But I guess if you just put a line through what Morton's done the last 3 starts, it's clearly a mistake.
Yeah, Dom Ricci says he doesn't trust either pitcher. I mean, at some point, Morton will likely become an auto fade again this year.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Well, I'm happy I didn't move on it. Once again, we're sitting here with some perceived line value from Sports Insights, and we have 36% of the tickets on Philadelphia, but 53% of the cash. Then 38% of the tickets on the under, and 59% of cash. And the first five is available to me for me at 3.5, which is just a little too low at this point. JPZ says, I wanted to fade Braves after that big Dodger series. That was the angle I was looking at. Do you think that they might slip up after an emotional series against the Dodgers, Pete?
Sure. Yeah. It's a tough game. It's a tough game. You know, there's strong reasons to go on both sides here, or to avoid both sides.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. This is the only bet I've made. Oakland A's first three at plus 140, backing Frankie Montas in this very important start for him. You know, this is as big as a game is going to get for them all season, and for him. And he's coming off another excellent start. I mean, I shouldn't say another excellent start. We backed him, and he completely shut down the Mariners. We only backed them first five, and then the bullpen came in and messed it all up. And I shouldn't say it was another excellent start because he'd had a couple bad starts on the road, but it just felt like it was a get-right start for him back at home. Going up against J.P. Sears, he looked good, J.P. Sears, in his last start. He got to start at home against the Orioles, who aren't hitting lefties, although I think that can change. He gets another cushy start here at home versus the A's, who are only hitting 220, 639 OPS versus lefties. The Yankees hitting 243, 759 OPS versus righties. And A's bullpen, 4.57 ERA, 1.45 whip. They've looked bad all year long. Let's take a look at the weather here in the Bronx. 79 Fahrenheit, 4.5 miles per hour to right center. Goes to center, 4 miles per hour. Not a ton of movement. Bill McDonald on Yankees run line here. Viper saying good play on the stay off. Semicomer says, I love emotional fades off a big series win. A's first five was beautiful last night. Let's take a look at the line history of this one. There had been very little, a slight move to the A's at 8:21 in the morning. That's still where it stands. There's been a 5-cent move since the opening. And this total opened up at 8. It jumped up to 8.5 at 9:09 a.m. It's come back, and it's juiced to the under 8 here. We go over to the cash flow in this one. 5,586 tickets in. 92% of the tickets on the Yankees and 87% of the cash. Then the total is 50-50, but 81% cash on the under. Take it away, Pete. Frankie Montas, J.P. Sears, A's, Yankees.
Yeah, I'm really, this game yesterday, again, I've been kind of like pimping a little more than I've been capping recently. And I missed yesterday. So obvious to take Oakland first three or first five, and then live bet the Yankees after Blackburn was out. Just completely fucking missed it, and I'm pissed. I think I'm going to stay off of this one. Montas, of course, off of a near no hitter. Before that, had been giving up some runs, and the Yankees just have a much better lineup. And this kid Sears for the Yanks, excellent so far in the majors. He's not that good, but he's still pretty good. His minor league numbers overall were nice, were promising. I don't think this is going to be a shutout start for him. Probably give up a few, but he's not a guy I'm looking to fade. And Montas, I wouldn't want to be betting now after that start. Although I hope you cash Jimmy the Bag. I think this game is going to be a pass for me. Furious at myself for totally missing out on yesterday's Oakland Yanks game. So friggin' stupid. And it's going to be a pass for me. Betting on Montas here makes me nervous, although it's justifiable, and I hope you cash. And again, I'm generally up on Sears, especially for this start.
Yeah, if Sears is excellent in this start, I want to fade him on his first road start.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. numbers. Look very good. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre in how many starts?
The only play that I was thinking about here, sorry, Jimmy, the bag was was maybe a first three under 2.5.
Yes,
I mean that's that. My numbers indicate that has some value. Minus 130 at Will Hill right now, and I'll probably have a small bet on that by first pitch. But yeah,
I like that. I also like the first 5 under 4.5. I'm comfortable with that. I'd like to look at what that first 3 is being offered to me at, because under 2.5. I like that. I think that's a very possible addition for me. 2.5. I do. I think it's a very possible addition for me. Johnny Gonzalez says Montas gets touched up on the road. Maybe an overlook here if we think Spear spills on the road. I think that Montas steps up in this position. He's not going to get many opportunities, real showcase spots like this all year. I think part of the problem with him is that he's got a bunch of meaningless road games this year, and he just doesn't seem to be as locked in. Now you're going up against the Bronx. I mean, I don't see how he's not going to be really amped up here. Joseph Gomez, Henny to the chest, play of the day's Yankees, first 5 minus 118. All right. Okay, so I like that idea you have.
Great comments from the comments section, though. Shout out to Don Mack. Oakland versus lefties on the road angle seems to be the angle. Yeah.
And I liked your angle as well about the A's getting out on the road and backing them, when they're not going to be playing in front of 4,000 fans in that ballpark where offense goes to die. Ron Crawford here with the spreadsheet play of the day. It is the San Francisco Giants on the -1 line. I'm going to copy and paste that here, and then we will discuss it when we get to the Giants game. And that's Detroit Tigers. That's Tariq Screwball Carlos Rodon. I can't wait to talk about that game, as our guy Screwball has not looked good of late, and we've stayed off of him. I wonder, is it time to maybe trust him a little bit in this ballpark? But let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates 29-44, 12-24 on the road at the Washington Nationals. 28-48, 13-26 at home. We're at Nationals ballpark in Washington D.C. Let's start with the weather in D.C., and that is 78 Fahrenheit, 4.1 miles per hour left to right, slightly in, and then it becomes fully in, but very the weather, or the wind, 2.7 and 3.3 miles per hour. Not very much going on there. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. Quintana versus Corbin, 2 lefties. It opened up with the Nats -125. There was a 10-cent move towards Quintana and the Pirates, but it's come back 10 cents. It's exactly where it opened. Then from a total standpoint, opened up at 9.5. At 8 a.m., it dropped to 9. 10 minutes after that, it dropped to 8.5. So it's gone down a full run. A full run. Let's take a look at the cash. We have 7,843 tickets in. 54% of the tickets on Jose Quintana and 94% of the cash, Pete. So big bets have come in on the Buccos and Quintana, and the market's not moving. 75% of tickets and 88% cash on the over, and it's dropped a full run. Very questionable market moves here. Quintana 1-4, 3.60 ERA, 1.31 whip, 70 innings, 61 Ks, 23 walks, and 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homer, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and an 8-7 win at home versus the Cubs. There's my guy Elliot V in the house. Patrick Corbin, 3-10, 6.60 ERA, 1.79 whip, 63 Ks and 73 2/3, 13 home runs allowed in that 73 2/3. His last start was a rain-shortened loss at the Orioles. He went 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 1 walk. I guess he looked a little better, 3 earned runs in 4 innings, though. Pirates only 222, 654 OPS versus lefties. The Nats are starting to hit lefties, and we've been waiting for this, and I expect it to continue. 256 average, still very little power at 698 OPS. Both bullpens are poor, but the Nats back end is pretty good. It's average. The middle relief is terrible. Take it away here, Pete. Pirates, Nats.
Yeah, Another tough one, as you know, Jimmy the Bag. I've had quite a good read on Patrick Corbin, not just this year, in previous years as well. And in fact, I made an awesome joke preseason with Jose Bouquet, saying I wish I could bet on credit the no for Pat Corbin to win the Cy Young Award. I don't even remember what the odds were, but it should have been like close to negative infinity. And this spot, Pittsburgh, we've talked about them. They got a lot of youngsters. They're a scrappy team, not a good team yet, but definitely young and scrappy. I don't know if I want to take them here. They got a lot of lefties in that lineup. I want to see who's in the lineup. This is a game where I'm gonna wait to see what the line movement is and wait to see what the actual lineups are. I'd love to take a shot with. I'd love to take a shot with Pittsburgh first five, but it's not an auto fade of Corbin like many of his other starts have been. I might be on it, but it's not something that I bet as soon as the line came out. That's all I have to say. Quintana is usually gives up a few. Crafty veteran, very far from lights out though. Washington, they have some bats, so it's going to be it's a pass for me as of right now. I love to fade Corbin big in good spots, but this is not quite one of them. Might be fading him anyway, though. I mean, Quintana is just, in general, clearly a notch less crappy than Corbin, any way you slice it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, but
I also statistically, the Nationals lineup is also clearly a notch less crappy than the Pirates lineup, at least statistically right now, even though there's a lot of unproven youngsters who will make radical turns, or they wouldn't be unexpected for them to make radical turns at any point in the season. So it's hard to get an exact read on Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, this game makes me very uncomfortable. Seeing the big bets come in on the Pirates, I get it, and seeing the market not move towards them would make me nervous if I was on them. So Billy Friedrich saying that Nats contract for Corbin may be one of the worst in baseball, without a doubt. Johnny saying O'Neill Cruz got his first home run yesterday. Beautiful line drive straight to the seats. Kid is good and he's progressing with every start. The energy has shifted in Pittsburgh.
I mean, I would say that it's hard to get a read on Pittsburgh right now, but definitely my educated guess, based on nothing statistical, but my educated guess is to expect them to be a little, if not significantly, improved each week as the weeks go on.
Dami Gun Ricci says the Nats go on these streaks. They can hit lefties. The battle of shit teams for me, and Nats are less shitty.
Yes, the Nats, as I said, absolutely. I agree with that. Clearly, statistically, a full notch less shitty than Pittsburgh right now. But again, Pittsburgh has youth, talent, energy, and it's hard to say how that plays out going forward.
Let's move on to a big game up here. Drug Monkey RX is Jose taking Pittsburgh team total over today. He's been cashing with the Pirates over and over and over and over and over again. And we have internet issues right now in San Antonio. So,
I can join you via voice. Don't you worry. I'm on my phone, so this is a lovely time.
Forgot he was there.
Well, Pete, I'm always in your dreams, Pete. Whenever you feel a little tickle on your neck, Pete, that's me. That's me right there. I will probably be taking a Pittsburgh team total over here. I said yesterday I would probably. But yeah, I'm probably going to move on it. I have not done the research because I have no internet. But I am probably going to move on it, yes.
And just one quick note. Stella Girl says, last couple weeks, Pitt bullpen 5, Washington not much better. My bullpen rankings, I actually have the Pirates bullpen significant. That's the one area where there is a significant difference here. My ratings have the Pittsburgh bullpen as significantly better than Washington right now. I have Washington ranked, clearly bottom 5, and I have Pittsburgh right now as ranked mediocre, 15th or so. So yeah, and that's another reason to take. I might be on Pittsburgh by first pitch, Jim. But if I do, it'll be full. Ironically, with with Corbin, I'm usually fading him first 3 or first 5. But if I'm on Pittsburgh, it'll probably be full game.
Pete, let me creep you out a little bit more with my voice here. I would like to tell you and everyone else my record betting the Pirates this year. I bet them every day from the 21st to the 25th. That improved my record to 13-3-1, up 15 units betting just the Pirates team totals and sides this year. So don't be afraid to take the Pirates every once in a while. It's my hypothesis.
It's like the voice of God, and then you're like, that's God's voice. Expecting something a little different, but okay, I'll take it. I was expecting something a little different. Okay.
Well, now that we have his voice in the Raptors, Jose, tell us a little bit about the big show today. It's Tuesday, so Babano will be your special guest. And what is your record at right now as we get closer to the All-Star break?
That's a lovely question, Jimmy. Thanks for asking. I had kind of a shit day. I said earlier in the show yesterday, I tripled up on the Red Sox because I'm a big, dumb, biased bitch. And I lost on Oakland full game money line, which, of course, I said the whole time. I was like, this is probably not the spot to take a full game. Probably should take a first 5, but I'm minus 300. I got to fade him full game. And that bit me in the ass. But I had a couple bankers there that helped me out. 238 and 227 of 13.76 units overall. Still can't complain. And again, my one thing that I've been very happy about this year, the thing that can hang my hat on, no days in the negative units this year. Have not had a losing record at any point this year. So that's something that I've been very proud about.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Great work, Jose. Keep it going. Check out Say Hey Plays today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Jose and Babano will be breaking down this big, beautiful Tuesday card. We move on to a big, beautiful baseball game for us up here in the 7:07 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox 42-32, 22-16 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays 41-32, 22-14 at home. We're at Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. The roof will be open this evening, and the wind will be blowing out 11 miles per hour, out 70 Fahrenheit at first pitch, and it stays strong. The weather out to right center throughout the game. We got Michael Wacha going up against Ross Stripling. Stripling's been enormously important to this rotation, especially since Hyunjin Ryu had Tommy John. But I don't trust him against strong offenses, and that's what we have here with Boston Red Sox. Let's take a look at the line history here. El Dorado Custodian. Holy shit. Wow. A huge dono from our guy, the El Dorado Custodian. What a guy. Thank you so much for that. It just means a ton to us, man. Look, he's working as we speak. He's like, got to go do some concrete. Will give me time to make sense of all these numbs in my head. Big day yesterday. Just a little lean on Phillies, Nats, and Astros.
Could you get Slaughter to kick me 75 cents of that, possibly? I would appreciate that.
What a guy, El Dorado. Man, thank you so much for thinking of us and caring about us here at Pub Sports Radio. Means a ton to us. Means so much to us. El Dorado Custodian. God, that's a huge dono. Huge dono.
I want 75 cents of that, Jim.
Done, Pete. In fact, the next time we hang out together, I'm going to double that. Get you $1.50.
Pow! Making money. This is how it's done.
Wow. Unbelievable. Eric Romero giving a shout out to Sharpie for his breakdown on Gaussman yesterday. And North Ender says pouring concrete in the heat. I mean, he's working his ass off, and he's still thinking of us at Pub Sports Radio. What a guy. Yeah. What an absolute guy, El Dorado Custodian. Big shout out to you. Thank you so much for that dono. It means a ton to us. A ton. Okay, let's keep rolling. He must have cashed big. But even so, look, I mean, man works his ass off for his cash, and he still thinks of us. Doesn't matter how much he made yesterday. It's still unbelievably cool of him. So thank you, my man. Let's talk about the line history in this spot. Opens up the Jays minus 140. The immediate move is towards the Jays, 5 cents. Then it goes back towards the Red Sox, and then it comes back full circle to where it started. Minus 140 for the Jays. From a total perspective, it opened up at 10, and it moved to 9.5, and it's moving down as we speak. It moved to 9.5, and now that 9.5 to the under is minus 125. So real belief in this under. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. Red Sox, Jays, AL East battle. Sports Insight's giving a sliver of line value to Waka and the Red Sox. 7,401 tickets in, 57% of the tickets on Boston, and 74% of the cash. I don't really trust either of these pitchers against strong lineups. So it's not like I can understand here the betting market believing in Waka over Stripling. That's fine. But I don't really trust either of them. But look at all this money on the under. 66% of the tickets on the under. 93% of cash on that under. Waka coming off a 6-2 win at home versus the light-hitting Tigers. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned run, a homer, 7 Ks, and 2 walks. He's got a 2.34 ERA, 1.04 whip on the season, 48 Ks, 19 walks, 7 home runs allowed, 65 in the third. Ross Stripling coming off a nice start at the White Sox. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. It was a 9-5 win, 3.08 ERA, 1.06 whip. But the White Sox just aren't hitting righties. So both of these clubs smash righties real nice. Red Sox 260, 731 OPS. Blue Jays 252, 749 OPS. The Blue Jays bullpen continues its descent down to the bottom rungs of the league. Now a 4.36 ERA, 1.29 whip, converted 22 of 36 save opportunities. And the Red Sox bullpen has been much better. And of course it has. That's why they won 7 straight. And remember that angle, 7 straight wins, switch cities, and lose. And that's exactly what the Red Sox have done. JP said Blue Jays have owned every series this season. Red Sox usually get one. Is this the one? D. Jenkins says, love watching Stripling pitch this year. All he does is get outs. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, Loshak, a game that means a ton to us.
Yeah.
Here in Toronto. Red Sox
is really tough for me, Jim. Once again, last few weeks, it's been like 2/3 pimping, 1/3 capping, and this fucking game yesterday I missed. Toronto, so obvious yesterday. I think there was no overnight line, though, so that's why I missed it. I don't even fucking remember, but yeah, I missed it. I missed it yesterday. Such an obvious play on Toronto, -1, team total over, so this is a tough one for me. Yeah, my first thought was my first thought without looking at the numbers was Boston team total over. Then I looked at the numbers and it didn't support that first thought. The numbers slight lean to Boston. Actually, I don't trust that though. And it looks like the numbers are relatively on. The numbers that I have say slightly in Boston. I don't trust that. And so I think I'm going to pass here. The numbers that I have say no real edge any which way. Slightly into the under at 9.5, but it's down to 9. Did you say that, Jim?
It's going to be. It's 9.5 minus 125.
Yeah. So no play for me right now. Possibly by first pitch I'll have something, but it's down to 9 at Heritage and a few other places. Yeah, I mean I'm not so down on Stripling here. Stripling and Waka kind of a wash. Both pretty solid, can get hit, but my numbers have them. Let me see officially what my numbers say. Let me just quickly pull it up. Stripling is a bit better, but nothing crazy. So yeah, it's a pass for me, Jim.
Yeah, I don't. I find it extremely interesting that the market's pushing this so heavy towards the under.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't. Why does that surprise you?
Because I don't trust the overall numbers that we see on these pitchers. I don't think they're as good as their numbers indicate. But I'm not going to go up against this major market move towards the under. I'll trust that the models are saying they're both going to have nice starts. I mean, Stripling's allowed 3 home runs and 52 and 2/3. But
yeah. And they both have good hard hit percentage numbers. Which is not necessarily predictive, but it's significant.
Okay, so we have no move right now on Red Sox, Blue Jays, but man, it was just a blink of an eye, and the Red Sox surpassed the Blue Jays in this division. What a monstrous division. I mean, even the Orioles are playing decent baseball here. All right. I just started reading El Dorado Custodians action. Look at that. What a day. He had 2 teamers up about 3,800. Beautiful work, El Dorado Custodians.
Hell yeah.
And and you work your ass off for your money, and to share it with us is very gracious and not necessary. We want your pockets to grow. That's the most important thing. Most important thing with all of us is that us working together improves our lives. But thank you very much for the dono. It means a ton. Let's move on to the next spot, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. These Houston Astros look dynamite. 45-27, 25-16 on the road at the New York Mets, 47-27, 24-10 at home. What a tough trip it is now heading to New York City with these two teams playing spectacular baseball. And they've gone from the Bronx to Queens. Let's take a look at the weather here at Citi Field in New York. 79 Fahrenheit, 4.6 miles per hour out to straightaway center. Stays light. Wind stays light throughout the day. Let's move over to the line history here in this one. And what did Billy Friedrich saying Astros just saw Carrasco last week and they shelled him. Yeah, they're going up against Cookie once more. Let me get up this Valdez Carrasco line history. Opens at a pick'em. There's an immediate 15-cent move, a pretty sizable move towards the Astros by 7:48 p.m. last night, and then a 10-cent move back. So it's just 10 cents difference from the opening line. Oh, excuse me. So up to a 20-cent move. I said 15. A 20-cent move in the first 2 hours and 42 minutes, and it comes back 10 cents. So it's a minus 120 right now. And then from a total perspective, it opened minus 115 to the over. There was a slight 5-cent move to the under, and it's come back 5 cents. So it's exactly where it opened at the over 8 at minus 115. Billy Friedrich says Valdez has nice road splits too. Valdez has just had a great start to the year. I mean, he's just been very good. 7-3, 2.90 ERA, 1.13 whip, 87 innings, 75 Ks, 31 walks, maybe a little high, but very little hard contact, very little barrels against him. He's allowed 5 home runs in 87 innings. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this one. 7,717 tickets in. 62% of the tickets and 78% of the cash is on Houston. We've only seen a 10-cent move towards them. Then 42% of the tickets and 94% of the cash is on the under. Mike M says, yes, run first inning alert, but that market is telling me that they expect Cookie Carrasco to have a bounce back start here. Carrasco, 4.42 ERA, 1.29 whip. We've talked over the last couple weeks about a belief that there may be some fatigue from Cookie Carrasco as he's not pitched a full season now in 3 years, and he's on his way to pitching a full season. And we know he's had to deal with leukemia and other issues. Astros versus righties, 247-42 OPS, but they got to him. 2 1/3, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and that 5-3 loss that the Mets had at Houston. Mets versus lefties, 246-707 OPS. Astros bullpen, 2.75 ERA, 1.14 whip, converted 21 of 27, being very good. The Mets bullpen's been great lately. 3.62 ERA, 1.24 whip, have converted 20 of 31. Take it away here, Pete. Another beauty matchup on today's card, but a tricky one, Astros-Mets.
Yeah, I actually did bet this one a little bit on the overnight lines, and the reasons are in the comments section. Someone was talking about, here you go, Bruce Hayward fading Carlos. He's got a little back issue going on, and Mets suck against lefties. Carlos Carrasco right now is, you said the market, based on the line moves, is indicating that he'll have a bounce back spot. Okay, maybe. I don't trust him right now. He does have a back issue, and in general, just fading a little bit. And interestingly, Rodney Barton, yes, running first inning at minus 113. Mike M, yes, run first inning alert. That is one of the bets that I made. I did bet the first inning run, yes, and the first 3 innings over. They were small bets relatively, but significant, and I bet him. Bruce Hayward says Astros all day. Eric Jones, Astros money line. Yeah, and I would be thinking, maybe just the old Jimmy. I'm actually, I didn't realize that so many people don't have the ability to bet first 5 team total over. So should I not, even though Pinnacle and Heritage have them, should I not refer
fire
them?
Away?
Yeah,
fire away with them, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Houston. First 5 team total over. It's not the old 1.5, but it is 2.5 at plus 130 right now at Heritage. So Brantley, I believe Brantley is going to be out for Houston, and that's not good. But they got a lot of other great bats. Of course, it's a powerful lineup. Although would love to have Brantley in there. But yeah, I already bet the yes run in the first inning. I bet first 3 over 2.5. Definitely leaning, Astros first 5 and full game team total over, and full game probably leaning Astros as well.
What did you want to make official here for the show?
I don't know. What are you going to do here, Jimmy the Bag?
I'm uncomfortable with this. This is historically for me a situation where I can't trust that kind of gut instinct to fade Carrasco, because it was the first bet on the board that jumped out at me. You guys have watched me put a line through the first bet on the board that jumps out at me. I hear LJ from H-Town giving us stats with the Mets 21-5, 9-1 to the run line after a loss, 24-3-7 first 5 at home, 10-0 off a rest day, 8-2 at home in the first game of a series. So he's on Mets and the under. It's just that Dommy Gunn saying that the last start shouldn't count for Carlos Carrasco. He was pulled with back issues, and now he gets to come home and pitch against this lineup again. It's just historically a spot where I can understand everybody seeing that the Astros should be the bet here, and that just doesn't work for me, ROI, and I've stayed away from that all year long, and I've reaped the rewards from it. And I'm not telling anybody to not trust their instincts and not move on the Astros. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to move on that first look on the card that screams at me.
A lot of awesome comments coming in the comments section. Don Mack, Cookies BABIPs through the roof on mostly medium contact. Pretty unfortunate. Yes, that is definitely a factor. And if you were going up against a weaker lineup, that would weigh very heavily on me. But the Astros, even without Brantley, still have a good, powerful lineup. Isaiah B. Cookie was tipping pitches first outing against him. Cookie going to deal, and the Mets will make adjustment. Wow. Yeah. And then we have Billy Friedrich saying, so Cookie's back issues have cleared up in 6 days. Yeah. I mean, it seems like, yeah, he's probably not as bad as he's been recently, but does that mean that we wouldn't necessarily want to fade him? And all right, we can do this shit, Jimmy the Bag. I should probably take the 2.5 at plus 130, but because I'm going to be safe, I love to take big favorites so that the chances of an actual loss goes down. At Pinnacle right now, Houston first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 158, and we'll make that official, Jim.
It is official for you. Lee Davis' Astros have to be pissed off. Dominated that Yankee series, only the split. I think it shows how dangerous the Yankee squad is. I believe they're the 10th fastest team in Major League history to get to 50 wins, something like that. I was playing poker last night, and when I was not in a hand, I was kind of going through 538.com, and man, it was all Yankee stuff because what they're doing is pretty special here.
Yeah.
Bailey says Astros taking off like a rocket.
I don't love that Brantley is. I think Brantley's going to be out. I'm not sure, but I think he is, and that's not good. But we'll take it anyway. First 5 team total over 1.5 minus 158.
You're in. Bruce Hayward says Framber's been lights out. Mets struggle against lefties. That struggle is they don't have a ton of power, but 246, 707 OPS. I think it's because of how good they are versus righties that one would say that they struggle versus lefties. They're certainly not as good against lefties as they are against righties. And he says, and the Astros love playing in New York. They play very competitive. Bruce, I'm not against what you're thinking. It was the first thing that jumped out to me as well.
Yeah. Struggle against lefties. It's a little harsh. But I have them as middle of the road against lefties.
Yeah. And you guys know, for me, what I learned doing this publicly is that my gut is a losing baseball capper. And working with you guys and studying the market and listening makes me a winning baseball capper. And so follow the money. That's what I do. And that's why I'm not moving on the Astros. And I get it. I get why you guys are. And that last start wasn't excellent against the Yankees, but look, the Yankees, your gut is polluted. It's not right now, but it was this weekend. Fuck, bachelor party. You got, hit the licks Licks, boy. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next on the board, we have Pete in on the first 5 team total over 1.5 at -158. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Milwaukee Brewers 42-33, 23-18 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays 40-32, 25-15 at home. Speaking of that, Nasty Nate, rooftop pool looking out at the falls, and they had cornhole. Beautiful cornhole.
Oh shit!
Yeah, chicks in bikinis.
No shit!
I even said, I was like, man, my boy Nasty Nate he would dominate cornhole and have digits in his pocket. Brewers Rays Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's start with the line history here in this one. This one's going to be fun. We've got the Wizard of Oz and Brandon Woodruff, and it's funny to me, Pete, how Woodruff has become, in some people's estimation, a straight fade. It's hard for me to go there. I have a vividness bias, and I understand it's just a bias of him being a great pitcher. It opened up as a pick'em. There was a 10-cent move. The first move was actually towards the Brewers, 5 cents. But then it came back, and there was, got all the way to -120 for the Rays. It's now -115. So it's a 5-cent move to the Rays since it's opened. And then from a total standpoint, it opened -120 to the over. It's now at a pick'em. So it's come back 10 cents. That's all. Come back 10 cents. Let's take a look at where the cash is in this one. I really love these two baseball teams. I like these, strong pitching staff, great bullpens, not huge contracts all over the place. I love watching these two teams work. So I said there was only a couple spots where there was a little bit of line value according to Sports Insights. I gave you the Phillies. I was 75%, then just slivers. But the highest next spot is on Brandon Woodruff in the Milwaukee Brewers. I would say about 23% line value. And then third is the Arizona Diamondbacks and Zach Gallen. But these are not close to half line value here. For the spot here in Tampa, 5,434 tickets in, 47% of the tickets, 59% of the cash is on the Milwaukee Brewers. Then 39% of tickets, 64% of cash is on the under. So they're expecting a nice start from Brandon Woodruff here. That's what the market is telling me. He's got a 4.74 ERA this season. Last start, 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, and a 4-2 loss at the Cardinals. And then the Wizard of Oz, 4.15 ERA, 1.08 WHIP. He looked good in his last start. 4 2/3 he made it through at home versus the Yankees. 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 6 Ks, and 2 walks. Brewers rating 238, 731 OPS versus righties. I don't know how they do it. I guess it's Rowdy Tellez is hitting, but no one else in that lineup puts any fear in me whatsoever. The Rays are hitting just 227, 660 OPS, and if they don't fix this inability to hit righties, they're not going to make the playoffs. Brewers bullpen 3.49 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. We expected them to be elite. They've shown that lately. The Rays bullpen, we expected them to be elite. They've shown that all year. 3.06 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. But we've talked about the back end of the bullpen struggling for the Rays, and it has all year. They've only converted 21 of 38 save opportunities, and it costs money to find someone who closes games. And they don't have that money in Tampa Bay, and they don't spend it. And now they're not closing games. Take it away, Pete. Can't wait to hear your breakdown, Brewers Rays.
Man, unreal. All right, so this is a lot of interesting shit and a lot of interesting shit coming in from the comments section. Stella Girl saying Milwaukee bullpen been otherworldly the last couple of weeks, lowest ERA by the mile. Yeah, the one game where they did blow up when Hader blew that save. Oh my God, that was a huge swing for me, Jimmy the Bag. That was the last leg of a huge free play parlay that I put on. Brewers were up by 1 heading into the 9th. I was like, hell yeah, I got this. I didn't get it. The big question here is what to expect from Woodruff. And, he had an ankle injury, which looks like it's okay. And then he had, a hand issue where he was having, feeling problems with, feeling in his hand. And, it's anyone's guess how much that is going to be cleared up here and how much that's going to affect him. I guess if the market is betting on him to have a good start, then someone knows something. I bet as soon as it came out, I bet Tampa Bay first 3 because even if Woodruff is lights out, it's entirely possible that Baz could be lights out for 3 innings as well and I get away with the push. I was also thinking about no run in the first inning, but that bet is just entirely predicated on what to expect from Woodruff, and I fully admit that I'm not exactly sure. I mean, he had some rehab starts in high A, and they were okay, they were good, but they weren't lights out. I think he did give up a home run in high A. So what to expect from Woodruff is just an educated guess. I'm not exactly sure. I did take Tampa Bay first 3 at -115 when it came out. I wouldn't call it low-hanging fruit, but I would call it just an auto bet. Didn't think about it after it once I saw it come out. I think Baz he might have some endurance issues, but early he should be lights out in general against most teams. I will also say though that I've been snake bit in general with Milwaukee over the past month. I'd be way more if I had just laid off all Milwaukee games. But I did bet this one. I guess I'm going to have to make it official, Jimmy the Bag. And here, JPZ, I think Woodruff is horrible. Well, there you go. All right. Jay Woodruff, Sports Insights says there's value on Woodruff. And JPZ says, fuck Sports Insights. I think Woodruff is horrible. I'd back the Rays on that alone. Haven't bet it yet, though. Okay. An opinion without a bet basically means nothing, JPZ, and you know that. You know that, pal. Yeah, look, okay. Got to do it. I'll make it official. Tampa Bay, first 3 -115. Maybe I'll double up and take a first 5 as well, or maybe a Milwaukee first 5 team total under or something like that, but can't not make it official, so we'll do it. Tampa Bay, first 3 -115, current line at Will Hill.
Yeah, I have a clear, vivid image of Woodruff with nasty stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And
this year, he's been very hit or miss, to put it mildly.
And the Rays can't hit righties. They can't hit them at all. We have both Dabby Cab and Dutch Boy Fresh joining us. Pete, you have to check out their new show. It's the coolest and the hottest new show in the entire industry, in my estimation. And it's daily sesh, Monday to Friday at 4:20 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's not all sports handicapping; it's life handicapping.
Sure. Do they have Sour Diesel? I don't think so. Do they have any White Widow? I don't think so.
They can get it.
Yeah.
You give them a couple hours.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Do they have any Headband? I don't think so.
That's all you had to say. They're on the phone right now getting it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They can get Headband on that? Okay. Well, okay.
Rays first 3 for Pete, and okay, let's talk about the Wizard of Oz. What are your thoughts on is he like ace type material right now? Is he going to turn on right now, or does he need more time in the bigs to learn how tough it is and kind of go through the bumps and bruises that aces have to go through to become aces? Or because we know he throws a hundo. What do you think of this guy?
Wow, people are slamming me. Jared TG, that's old school weed. Tim Montana Bronx is over for sour diesel like dinosaurs. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, Boomer. Hell yeah. What was your question, Jim? Oh, Baz. Do I trust him?
Do you think he's elite? Do you think he is top of the rotation elite?
He has that potential, yes. And my take on him is that, first time or second time through the lineup, yes. Third time, maybe not quite yet. Do I think he's elite? I am willing to cautiously assume elite. No. You got to prove it if you're elite. Does he have elite potential for first 3 or first 5? Yes, definitely.
I kind of want Woodruff here. I kind of want Woodruff. I kind of want to move on Woodruff here. Look at what our guy Lucas Ryan says, Pete. Some people have a poster of MJ. Some people have a poster of Tom Cruise. He's got a poster of Jimmy and Loshak.
And I'm going to have a poster of that comment on my wall behind me in this door, right over the lock. Next show. Hell yeah. Shout out Lucas Ryan. This time, really, I'm going to do it. I'm going to print it out. Put it up there. Hell
yeah. I do not trust the Rays offense. I think this is a beautiful opportunity for Woodruff to get back in the flow of things against the Rays team that can't hit righties in a dome where there's a controlled temperatures, controlled wind. I feel like it's the spot for Woodruff here. And let's just take one last look at the cash here. 5,472 tickets in, 47% of tickets and 57% of cash on the Brewers. And line history here. We have a 5-cent move to the Rays. Rem Mo says the comments poster that Pete's.
I know he's right. All right, I'm getting slammed in the comments section here for my for exposing myself for not really know what I'm talking about when it comes to all these freaking strains. I'm definitely stuck in the 2000s, I guess. I'll get educated though. Oh yeah, when I want to get educated about something, you'd be shocked.
Go to the daily sesh at 4:20 p.m. Man, there's something special, really special about it. Like when you see it, you're like, God, finally. You think of all the people who were just dreaming of a time where we could, smoke freely, and there's something real special about the show. And they have clips of all these different things going on in the world and sports. Like it's not just sports capping. It's dope.
All right,
okay.
Jim.
Yeah,
you can throw on no run first inning as well for me in this Milwaukee game. And if Woodruff comes in and gives up 3 in the first inning and obviously just doesn't have it, I'll take a loss. But then I'll probably win the Tampa Bay first 3. It'll be a push. No run first inning minus 127. Current line at Pinnacle.
Sorry, what was that line?
Minus 127. Milwaukee, Tampa Bay. No run first inning. I gotta spend more time on it, obviously, but I'm interested in the Brewers' first 5, and I'm gonna put some asterisks and some. Fuck, man, I thought I was gonna blow people's minds with how hip I was knowing all those strains. I played myself. Not only were they not impressed, they were like, "We like you, Loshak, but a little old and out of touch." All right, okay.
We found a no-run first inning. Our guy Billy Friedrich found it at minus 123. Found a no-run first inning minus 123. And Danzo, you should see Danzo work, Pete, by the way. We have all these cappers, all the different styles. Danzo goes over the first inning run over 1.5 at like plus 260 and plus 280, and he cashes an alarming amount of them. He's a really exciting capper to watch for, and just keep an eye out for his action. Says Mr. Eldorado gets it. Talking about Eldorado Custodian, says instead of paying for picks at some other crap show, he's paying for your homework and your countless hours of number crunching worth every penny. Smart man. It just means a ton. Means a ton.
You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to do a Google search right now. Coolest Gen Z weed strains. Let's see what I come up with.
While you're doing that, I'll set up our next game, 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 33-39, 14-23 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 42-34, 23-15 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We go over to the weather in St. Louis. 85 Fahrenheit, 4.9 miles per hour, right to left. Goes up to 4.9 miles per hour. Or sorry, I said it's 4.9. 4.9, 5.1, 4.9. So not much movement there. And nothing to worry about. Right to left across the diamond. We'll take a look at the line history in this one with the Cardinals in action. I love this game. I love Braxton Garrett against Dakota Hudson. I can't wait to talk about it. There has been a market move towards the Miami Marlins. The Marlins opened up at plus 140 at 5:06 p.m. yesterday. They now are at plus 125, so a 15-cent move towards these Marlins. And from a total perspective, opened up minus 115 to the under. It's now minus 125 to the over at 8.5. So a movement towards the over and a movement towards the Marlins. Sorry, I'm trying to stay focused, but
there's some funny comments in the comment section, Tim the Bag. But no, you got to do your job. Stay focused, pal.
We have 7,313 tickets in. Look at this. So we have a 25-cent move towards the Marlins. I mean, you talk about we talk about all the different cappers that we have working together. And there's some situations that the market provides for us where you think of a certain capper. And obviously, when you see 11% of the tickets and 12% of the cash on the Miami Marlins and a 25-cent move towards the Marlins, I think of razor sharp picks and gamblers first glance. That's what I think. 59% of tickets, 59% cash on the over. Why would the market be moving towards the Miami Marlins if they only have 12% of the cash on them? Braxton Garrett had a very interesting start last out at home versus these Rockies, or not these Rockies, but versus the Rockies that smashed lefties. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, 7 Ks and 1 walk. In the 3-2 win, threw too many pitches and got some soft contact, and some of these balls found holes, but he was very good still. Going up against, and he's got a 4.08 ERA, 1.70 whip, but we're only talking 17 2/3. Dakota Hudson, 5-4, 3.72 ERA, 1.35 whip. He's got this K to walk ratio that is very tricky to decide how to handle him from a gambling standpoint. 41 strikeouts and 30. Say what, my man?
Hudson?
Yeah, 41
Yeah,
K.
because he's a thinker baller, you know?
But come on. I mean, that's one of the worst K to walk ratios of any starter in the major leagues. Last start, he got touched up bad at Milwaukee. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, and 3 walks. Marlins are not hitting the righties with as much power as they had been. Still 254, 737 OPS. Cards versus lefties, 266, 763 OPS. The Marlins bullpen has been very bad over the last little while. It's been a little better, just the tiniest in a smaller sample size of late. Cards bullpen, 3.70 ERA, 1.25 whip, converted 17 of 25. Take it away here for us. Pistol Pete, Loshak, Marlins, and Cardinals.
All right. So yesterday I did have St. Louis. That was one of the ones I didn't miss. I had St. Louis. First 3, first 5, full game, nailed it. And this one, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's Hudson is, he's sinker baller. I've talked about it ad nauseum. High volatility with sinker ballers. When they're on, they're throwing 7 innings, 1 run. When they're off, they're 4 innings, 5 runs, that type of deal. And I would be leaning St. Louis again. Although I haven't bet it yet because the line is a little high, and there's some injuries for the Cards, and there's some guys coming back for the Marlins, so it's a little bit of a bounce back spot for the Marlins, and also Garrett, a highly touted youngster, up and down so far this year, so you never know exactly what to get from him. There's low confidence with this game, but. My numbers indicate small value with St. Louis. Haven't bet it yet. I might not. It's a tough one.
It's fascinating that there's so few bets and money on the Marlins, and it's moved 25 cents in their direction.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
When we look at the Dakota Hudson splits, we see what he does at home, and I still don't know whether to trust him. But at home, he's 3-1 with a 2.67 ERA, 244 opponents batting average, allowed 2 home runs in 33 2/3, 4.57 ERA. On the road, let's just go over his game log and look at his last couple home starts here. Last 2 starts were on the road against Milwaukee and against the Red Sox. Didn't look very good. 9 1/3 combined, 7 earned runs. Last home start, he got completely touched up by the Reds. Now 2 home starts back, the Padres, they couldn't get to him. But he got touched up in his last home start versus the Reds. And Stella Girl's on St. Louis to not bat in the 9th at -105, which means they will be ahead. LJ from H-Town says Cardinals best bet, 17-3, second game of series, 9-1 straight up last 10 versus Miami. Dommy Gunn says loved Cards last night, lean again today.
He said he likes them again today.
Yeah, he's leaning towards them again.
Yeah,
today.
I mean that's so. Yeah, Dom. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dommy Gunn. Shout out to you. Old minds think alike, Dommy Gunn.
Well, under 0 circumstances will I be on the Cardinals. It's whether or not I want to move on the Marlins.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Also, numbers say slightly into the under as well.
Yeah. That 8.5 plus 105 right now. So it's the market's moving towards the over full game, and you have 39% of tickets on the under, 41% cash. This one is tricky. Swaggy D in NYC says he's on the Miami Marlins first 5. Cards overrated. And Lucas Ryan will be going to the game. I love that. Man, it would be nice to go to
D. Jenkins saying this is a fascinating game. Marlins still hit righties, bottom 10 offense on the road. Cardinals top 10 offense at home. And in general, for years going back, when the Cardinals have a decent team or a good team, they often tend to be a great bet at home, even as a big favorite. I can't tell you how many times, when the Cardinals had a decent team, they'd be at home with Wainwright minus 180 or whatever, and you'd be thinking, should they really be this big of a favorite? And my answer was yes, and they cash with it more often than not. And this version of the Cardinals is similar. So, excellent read, D. Jenkins, and I generally agree with it. Haven't bet it yet, though. Was all over him yesterday. Tonight, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do.
D. Jenkins says, I'm waiting for the lineups to make sure Jazz and Birdie are in before he moves on the Marlins. Lucas Ryan says, anytime you can make it St. Louis, club seats on me. I would jump in my car right now, but this is one of the most up things that's happened to a car I've ever had in my life.
Well, I mean, Chisholm is a big, whether he's in or out is big for Miami.
Huge, no doubt about it. But my family's Vietnamese. They were transporting snails. Oh, and I guess a couple fucking snails didn't get out of the car. And it's the worst smell I've ever smelled in my entire life. It's just the most horrific fucking smell I've ever smelled. Like they better do something about it. If any of my family's watching right now, that car fucking stinks. It's the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. I'm not going to clean that shit. Find someone else to clean that shit. Fucking disgusting. It's like I can't even take it to some place. They'll think it's a body because it was in the trunk. They will. They'll think there was a body in the trunk. That's how bad it smells transporting snails. All right. Let's get back to work here. I would love to be able to move on Braxton Garrett, but I can't do it. I can't do it with the numbers that were posted with how the Cardinals are now hitting lefties again. But it's Marlins are no bet for me. Billy Friedrich says you may not be able to get that smell out. That's what I said. And so they've tossed out the fucking whatever it was. I don't know. They handle that shit. That's on them. I don't care if I never drive that car again because then that means they're going nowhere. So it's all on them. 100% on them. Let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 25-47, 13-24 on the road. At Chicago Cubs 28-45, 13-25 at home. But I digress. Let's go back to my man Lucas Ryan. Maybe I promise you, at some point in my life, I'll be right beside you at Busch Stadium with a big beer in my hand, a fucking baseball glove, ready to have some fucking fun. Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's start with the weather. We have 80 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 10.6 miles per hour out to right center. It dies down to 9.1, but the weather is blowing out. Let's go over the line history in this one. Cardinals, Cubbies, Castillo, Thompson. It opened up at a pick'em. We have a 10-cent move to Keegan Thompson and the Chicago Cubs. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 8.5. At 8:31 this morning, it moved to 9 at a pick'em. Let's go over to the cash flow in this NL spot. We have 5,686 tickets in, 66% of the tickets on the Cubs and 85% of the cash. You'd think that the move would be a little stronger to the Cubs than 10 cents. Then you have 78% of the tickets and 90% of the cash to the over, and it has moved a half run. There we go. Christopher Comtini says gasoline in the match. That's probably a good move. You can light that shit on fire, blow that car up by that actually is a legit option here. Let's talk about this spot a little more. We have Luis Castillo on the bump for the Reds. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks, and 8-4 loss at home versus the Dodgers. He had been pitching very well before that. 3.71 ERA, 1.14 whip on the season. He's allowed 4 home runs. There's 4 home runs in 51 innings. Keegan Thompson had that terrible start where he only made it through a third of an inning. And since then, he's been really, really good again. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 7 Ks, 1 walk, the 14-5 win at the Pirates. Keegan Thompson has a 3.10 ERA, 1.15 whip, and he's 7-2 on a team that's 28-45. Reds are hitting 235, 675 OPS versus righties, while the Cubs 244, 707 OPS. The Reds bullpen horrific, 5.24 ERA, 1.45 whip, converted 14-23. Cubs bullpen almost as bad, 4.61 ERA, 1.33 whip, converted 15 of 27. Take it away here, Pete. Reds, Cubs.
I'm sorry. You down on the Cubs bullpen?
I am, but should I not be?
What is your reasoning again?
I guess just year-long stats here. I mean, I see that the whip and the contact and the power numbers against them aren't bad, but 4.61 ERA, converted 15 of 27 saves. I don't trust them.
Yeah, I have them as relatively highly rated. Recently, more mediocre. I agree with you on Cincinnati, the Cincinnati bullpen. I would put them as bottom 5 or bottom 7 or something. But in general, I have my numbers indicate that the Cubs bullpen is an asset. Recently, mid-range, but I would give the Cubs a significant bullpen edge in general, based on my numbers here, Jimmy the Bag. The starting pitching. This is a tough one. I would love to take an over here, but both lineups are a little bit chintzy, and both starters are better than average. Starting pitching, based on my numbers here, is pretty much a wash, and both of them pretty good, pretty better than average. And lineups, we'll see who's in the lineup, but roughly a wash, and both lineups roughly below average. But I would give a significant bullpen edge to the Cubs. So when the line came, I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I was thinking about taking the Cubs. This is a classic game where I'd probably wait until the lineups are announced, but definitely leaning Cubs here. I'm sure there's some illuminating comments in the comments section. Stella Girl says Cubs last couple weeks league worst ERA. Is she talking about bullpen or overall? Yeah, 30th bullpen recent form. Recently I have them as worse than they were in the beginning of the year, but I still have them rated mid-range right now. Could be wrong. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here.
I'm surprised there's not a bigger market move towards the Cubs. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Talk about going over to Vietnam. Vietnam is incredible if you can go. Incredible. Just the kids are too young for us to go back, but I loved it. It was incredible. Incredible. Loved it. My family's from the north, so they're not to be fucked with. You can fuck with people from the south, but you can't fuck with people from the north. That's how Vietnam works. But
there is the market does appear to be moving towards the Cubs since opening, though.
Yeah, there's been a 10-cent move, but there was a 5-cent move back to the Cubs at 9 this morning here at Bet365. So Bet365 went from 110 to minus 120 back to minus 115.
Yeah.
I know, a 10-cent move since the opening line, and we're sitting here with 85% of the cash. And I know the sample size is not huge, 5,749 tickets, but...
Well, I might make Cubs official. I don't really like betting on the Cubs, and I don't really like betting against Castillo. But numbers indicate value, small value with the Cubs. I haven't given that many official plays. I'm definitely leaning that way, Cubs.
Okay, well, we can come back.
No, we can. That's all right. We can. Should I? I don't know, Jim. I don't want to eat a loss. The Cubs kind of suck, though, don't they? Cincinnati does too, kind of.
This is my guy, High Win. He knows what I'm talking about. My family, not to be trifled with,
All right, I can. All right, we can. You can give me the Cubs. I'll go official with it. I'm seeing minus 113 right now at Heritage. I'll take that. I'll make that official. I'll just take the money line. Cubs money line minus 113 full game.
You are in. High Win. My family's from Haiphong. Like an hour and a half from Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. Well, it's supposed to be an hour and a half, but you know what the roads are like over there. 4 hours and like 15 accidents away.
I just want to read the comments. Christopher Comatini says, yeah, they suck. Yeah. Dabby Cab likes the Cubs, but haven't pulled. Shout out to you, Dabby Cab.
Eric Jones says Cubs 19-4 straight up next game after a 1-score win the last 2 years. But Mike M, pimp slap play of the day. Cincinnati first 5 plus a half. Don Mack liking the first 5 under 4.5. Says Keegan home numbers look good. They sure do. Swaggy D says red smash spot.
Holy shit. Why would he? I mean, yeah, I don't. Castillo is. I wouldn't mind fading him with, friggin' the Astros or something. But fading Castillo with the Cubs, I don't know. But the numbers say they like it, so I'll take it.
Mark Schlemberg says he's never heard of someone speak about transporting snails. Look, man, we get ours in Parkdale by any means necessary. All right, let's move on. Next up, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers 35-37, 18-17 on the road at the Kansas City Royals, 26-46, 13-24 at home. Roger, that says the Cubs own Castillo. Maybe that is something. And let's just go over it just before we move on here. Let's just take one last look at this batter versus pitcher that I may have missed. Wilson Contreras hitting 467, Happ 364. Jason Hayward, like, who cares if he's hitting 333? I mean, that's not. Look at that. They sure do. They hit him. Nico Horner. They hit him. And look at this against Keegan Thompson. They have one guy with a hit against them. Not a big sample size, obviously. Well, how many at bats? 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 at bats. So, all right.
Yeah. Jimmy the Bag, did you know I once wrote a Weird Al style parody of House of the Rising Sun about betting on the Chicago Cubs and losing?
Oh, can we hear it?
I was like, not right now, maybe later. That was like 10 years ago, though.
High Wind says they're famous for eating their dogs in Haiphong. They are, and it's horrific. And they tricked me into it, and I was very, very upset. It was about the only time I was upset, and I didn't eat much of it. But they thought it was hilarious. All right, but that's I would show them the picture of my dog when they're like, "Eat this." I was like, "No," and I would just show them a picture, and then they were like, whatever. Let's not get into that shit. But yeah, that's facts. All right, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Let's move on here to Texas Rangers at Kansas City Royals. Rangers 35-37, 18-17 on the road. Royals 26-46, 13-24 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's start with the weather in Kansas City. 86 Fahrenheit, 7.6 miles per hour out to left center. It goes down to 6.5 by the end of the game. Let's take a look at the line history here in Kansas City. We have the Rangers opening up at minus 125. There's been a 25-cent move towards the Texas Rangers at minus 150. We both cashed comfortably with the Rangers on our last show together, Pete, last Tuesday. From a total perspective, it opened up at 8.5, juiced to minus 120 to the over, and now it's 9, and it's minus 115 to the over. Let's go over to the cash flow in this one. 6,935 tickets in. 92% of the tickets and 95% of the cash is on the Rangers. 74% of tickets, 91% cash is on the over. Ooh-wee. John Gray versus Jonathan Heasley. Gray's last start, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-2 win at home versus the Phillies. I think he's been pretty good this year. 68 Ks and 64 2/3, 4.18 ERA, 1.18 whip, 6 home runs allowed in those 64 2/3. Heasley has been better at times, 41 1/3. He's still got that K to walk ratio that's not strong, 32 and 22. 7 home runs allowed. His last start wasn't very good. It was a 12-11 extra inning win at the Angels, doing 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Rangers versus Royals, 234, 663 OPS. They don't hit him, and either do the Royals, 235, 667 OPS. This Rangers bullpen is pitching very well. 3.39 ERA, 1.18 whip, converted just 17 to 29 save opportunities, though. Royals bullpen, 4.74 ERA, 1.51 whip, 1.51 whip, converted 14 to 23 save opportunities. Take it away here, Pete. Rangers, Royals.
Yeah, I did have Texas yesterday and cashed with all of it except the first 3. Unreal. Perez gives up a run in the first, and I'm like, oh, God. Then they put up 4 in the top of the second. I'm like, whew, I'm a genius. And Perez gives up 3 in the bottom of the inning, but then Texas comes back in a major way. And I want to take him again here. The numbers say take him again here, but, Is Gray going to continue to pitch well? Heasley, in general, is someone who is vulnerable, pretty vulnerable, according to my numbers. KC has called up a power hitter, right? This guy, Vinny Pasquantino, right? He might help them a little bit or significantly. We'll see. He might be in the lineup tonight. Vinny Pasquantino. That's a big bet that's going to be added. I'd love to take Texas here, but I don't think I'm going to make it official. We'll see. I might be on this one by first pitch, and I might be on the Texas team total over. Heasley in general is a guy that I'm looking to fade. Very careful about betting on, but he's a guy that I'm kind of down on until further notice. And Gray is probably going to regress, but his performance last 5 starts has been for real. So, it's a tough one. Leaning Texas team total over, probably will be on it by first pitch, but I don't think I can give that officially.
I was hoping that the market would be leaning towards the under.
Matt Pollins says Rangers feel trappy here. Absolutely, Matt Pollins.
So much money. I mean, we're talking 95% of the early cash on the Rangers.
Wallaby King says Gray turned it around. He's good now. That is definitely, I would agree with that, but speed bumps will come.
And then Heasley, just take a look at his splits here. 25-year-old Jonathan Heasley. He's been quite a bit better at home, Pete. They have a 188 opponent's batting average against them. Why would I not?
Swaggy D, Rangers Royals, no run first inning. Okay. I don't know about I just don't really trust Heasley in general, although he's certainly capable, as most major league pitchers are, of a 7-inning shutout start at any given time.
God, I'd like to go against this. I mean, so I can understand the not. Let's go. Okay. So look, obviously they're hitting 188 against Heasley. It's only been 18 innings. They have 1 home run in 18 innings.
Yeah, very small sample size.
3 games started.
Control issues, which is not good.
Let's just take a look at those games. So last 2 starts have been on the road. They weren't good, but he faced Baltimore at home. Allowed 1 hit.
He has control issues and not good hard hit percentage number, which is not a good combo.
Okay. Man, I'm sitting here with very little movement. Okay, I'm going to put question marks beside it, but I have interest in Royals first 5. Don Mack saying Heasley home start too small sample. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens in not press or reach here. Johnny Gonzalez says, do it, Jimmy. I'm interested in doing that. Okay, let's move on. 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Dodgers 45-27, 25-15 on the road. At the Colorado Rockies 32-42, 20-19 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Let's go to the weather in Colorado. It's hot, 95 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour out to left center. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. We have, this is going to be a fun game, man. Kershaw against Freeland. A 15-cent move towards the Dodgers. There was no real move until 11:50 this morning. So we're talking in less than an hour ago was the first real move, and it was a 10-cent move to the Dodgers. Going to a totals perspective, opened up at 11.5. Then at 9 this morning, it moved to 11. Let's go over to the cash flow in this one. Freeland versus Kershaw. 8,473 tickets in. 89% of the tickets in. 99% the cash is on the Dodgers. Then 60% of tickets on the under and 66% of cash on the under. Kershaw coming off another nice performance. TJ said that on that day when the 10-5 win at the Reds, that this was just a gift, the Dodgers on the run line. And I was just too thick-headed to accept the gift. I wasn't on the other side, but I didn't move on them. 5.12 2 ERA, 0.91 whip, 45 innings, 47 Ks, 7 walks, 3 home runs. It's never fucking ends. I smell fire. Fuck. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Okay, I got.
You're watching Pub Sports Radio, Loshak and the Bag Show. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We are handicapping the entire MLB card today for you, finding those winners that you need to be profitable in your sports betting accounts.
I gotta go.
You gotta go? All right.
Fuck. Oh, fuck, man. What the fuck, dude? Okay, I'll be back.
Okay.
Sorry, Pete. We're talking Dodgers, Rockies.
Dodgers, Rockies. Okay. You are watching Pub Sports Radio. My name is Peter Loshak, Jose Bouquet on the ones and twos. You know, always curveballs. Life throws you curveballs, not just major league pitchers. And you want to roll with life's blows. Take whatever unexpected twists and turns come your way. We've had one in today's show. We're going to have a great show right now. Hopefully Jimmy the Bag's house doesn't burn down. But if it does, that's just another life curveball that we're going to help him deal with, and we're going to deal with ourselves. No, I'm sure his house isn't burning down. All right, let me just quickly check the comments section, and then we'll talk about the Dodgers game. So this one, let me just pull up my notes here. Talking about the Dodgers game. This is a tough one. Of course, the Dodgers coming off of the shutout loss. Dodgers did hit Freeland earlier in the year at Coors. Colorado gets a boost with Bryant's return to the lineup, but it's always very trappy to take a huge favorite on the road at Coors. If I have a good reason to, I have no problem doing it, pulling the trigger on it. But if I don't have a good reason to, it's usually the same thing with overs and unders, right? Overs can be great bets at Coors, but unless you have a really strong, obvious reason to take an over at Coors, a lot of times it means that the under is actually a sneaky good play here. Freeland, can be good, can get hit, right? Held down Atlanta at home 2 starts ago. I haven't pulled the trigger on this one. Leaning Dodgers team total over, though. Definitely have not pulled the trigger on it. Want to see what the line movement is and what the lineups are. Might pass on this one. Kershaw, of course, pitching great since his return, and in general does well against the Rockies and does okay at Coors. But again, this is a massive line. I think the Dodgers probably in general are a little bit overvalued right now. Not necessarily in every single game, but in general, probably a little bit overvalued right now, at least until Betts returns. A lot of their games, their offense does not score as much as you might expect them to on paper. Although I think it was last show that I did take the Dodgers team total over against Molly, and that one cashed. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. My first pitch might have a play on the Dodgers team total over, but also might just pass on this one completely. Kershaw, pitching great since his return, and I'll keep an eye out for him. He definitely has back issues, injury issues, and when those injury issues, if they pop up again, and they don't remove him from the starting rotation immediately, he might actually be a good fade for a few starts in a row. But as of right now, it looks like he's in top form and wouldn't want to fade him. But it's just a massive line. We'll see what his next start is. We'll see how this one goes. Oh, is Jimmy the Bag's back?
Back, yeah. It's the neighbors. They have whatever the hell is happening over there. They claim they have it under control. So I will just trust that they do and keep moving here. Talking Kershaw and Freeland. And Freeland looked good in that last game at the Marlins, 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. He's been looking good since he got the big contract. What were your thoughts here? I missed. Are you going to move on this game?
I just bullshitted for about 45 seconds. It was no problem. Said a lot of words. Didn't really say anything substantive. No, basically I said that I said I think the Dodgers, not in every game, but in general, are probably a little bit overvalued right now. I said that Kershaw is back for real, but he has durability and injury issues, and that he might actually have a under the radar injury that might cause him to be a good fade for a few games in a row before they put him back on the DL. But that as of right now, I'm trusting him. I said my lean was to Dodgers team total over, but I definitely haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. And Freeland, certainly is serviceable at home. If the line were a little bit lower, I'd probably pull the trigger on the Dodgers. But as of right now, haven't done anything. Wait to see what the line moves are and wait to see what the lineups are. But yeah, Freeland is not an auto fade by any means. Kershaw is for real, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'd want to take him and the Dodgers on the road as a minus 220 favorite at Colorado. So it's probably going to be a pass for me.
Yeah, probably going to be a pass. I get that. I mean, some of these Colorado hitters can get to Kershaw, but he's looked quite good of late. And then the numbers for Freeland aren't bad against these Dodgers. I mean, who really gets to him? And Will Smith in a small set. I'm Justin Turner, but Justin Turner gets to everybody. Then Cody Bellinger, but you can think that that's old Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Dodgers offense, even though I had them on the team total over last week, I admit that in general, they're probably a little bit overvalued right now.
Nolan says tough spot yesterday for the Dodgers. Got in at 3 a.m. Danzo going for a big score. I love watching how Danzo works. He's going for a plus 1,000 on the last run scored in the 10th inning or later. So going for extras there. Eric Jones giving us a final score of 7-5. And Matt Paulins, Rockies plus 1.5 tonight, plus 120. Love it. Dodgers bats will continue to struggle. I certainly agree with you that you would find an angle on the Rockies or not at all. What do you think of a first 5 under in this spot, Pete?
First 5 under?
Is it too hot? Is the weather just too offensive?
Yeah, I don't really like our first 5 under.
And that's at 6 right now, slightly juiced to the over. Occupancy says 81% of money on the Dodgers. No, I have way higher than that. I have 89%, 8,952 tickets in now, 89% of tickets, 99% of cash on Kershaw and the Dodgers.
I mean, first 3 or first 5 on the Dodgers is tempting, but definitely haven't bet it yet. And, might have it by first pitch, but as of right now, not on it.
We still have 4 games to go here, and we have Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. So why don't we just keep moving forward here? Let's go next up, 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Chicago White Sox, 34-38, 18-17 on the road at the Los Angeles Angels, 36-40, 20-22 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Let's go over to the weather in Anaheim, California. Love having Noli Knows in the chat. He'll be our special guest tomorrow. On tomorrow's show, 80 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour out to straightaway center, dies down to 6.5. So nice offensive weather in a ballpark where you can expect offense. Let's see. We got Cueto and Silseth opening up with the Angels at minus 135. They get up to minus 150 right away. This line came out at 421 this morning. At 651, it was minus 150. Since then, it's been a 20-cent move back to the White Sox. So since then, the White Sox gone from plus 130 to plus 110. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 9 juice to the under. It's just a 5-cent move. Now it's minus 120 to the under. Let's take a look at the cash in this one. White Sox, Angels. Here we go. Just 3,278 tickets in. We have 64% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the White Sox. Just a fade of Silseth, I guess. 44% of tickets on the over, 73% of cash on the over. Let's start with Cueto, 1-4, 3.19 ERA, 1.15 whip, 48 innings, 40 Ks, 12 walks, 5 home runs. He's been good. His last start was a 4-0 loss at home to the Orioles, but it wasn't on him. 5 in the third, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, and 1 walk. Silseth got touched up last out at Philadelphia. 16 in the third innings, he's throwing 4 home runs allowed, 7 walks allowed, not 16 in the third, 4.96 ERA, 1.471. White Sox just don't hit righties with any power whatsoever. 241, 649 OPS. Angels are hitting 247, 25 OPS versus righties. White Sox bullpen 4.23 ERA, 1.37 whip, converted 22 of 36. Angels bullpen 3.92 ERA, 1.18 whip, converted 20 of 35 save opportunities. Take it away here, Pete. White Sox, Angels.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Don't really trust Silseth here, and Cueto is okay, but usually gives up a few. Shut out the Astros recently, which is nice, but in general, pretty vulnerable. The White Sox might be a little bit low key banged up. Guys who are playing every day but not at 100%, and maybe taking it a little bit easy. And that is probably the explanation for why their offensive production has not been what you might think it should be, based on who's in the past week or so, based on who's in the lineup. We'll see how things develop for them, but as of right now, they are a little bit lethargic offensively. So there's conflicting indicators here. Statistically, I'd be wanting to take a shot with overs, running the first 3 over. But I don't know if again of course the Angels have been underachieving offensively all year long. Cueto was okay, and the White Sox should be better at some point. They probably will be, but as of right now, they are I think a little bit in a down way, a little bit maybe tired, and definitely a little bit banged up, some of the guys. So we'll see. I do kind of like first 3 over at 2.5. And even a run in the first inning. And I did bet both of those small, but I can't endorse a public play on those. But that's what I'm thinking here, Jimmy the Bag. Definitely Silseth should be vulnerable in this spot. Yeah, and maybe the White Sox team total. I mean, my numbers also like White Sox team total over. Haven't bet that one yet, though.
Yeah, I could see the interest in that. I'm surprised that this is even moving slightly towards the under. Well,
yeah, I mean, both offenses are vaguely under teams in general right now. Just that's not nothing statistical for that. Just in my mind, thinking twice about taking an over with them, and thinking only a half about taking an under with them. But in this spot with the starters, numbers like the over a little bit.
This has been a very tricky card so far. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 45-30, 24-14 on the road. Oh, and there was a question about whether the suspensions will start. Now, I don't know if
I read that they are not.
They're not going to start. Okay.
Well, they're being appealed. Yeah,
they'll be appealed.
Nevin's suspension. Yeah, the manager. I'm not sure about that.
It would make sense to appeal at first, and get more time to kind of study the situation and see if you can drop him. So I would think that would be the move there. All right, next up for us, Padres, Diamondbacks. Padres 24-14 on the road. What a start to the season they've had without Tatis. It's just so impressive. Diamondbacks 33-41, 18-21 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Imagine that the roof will be closed for this. Minaya going up against Gallen, and both pitchers went up against each other just 5 days ago. And both pitchers were excellent. It was a 3-2 extra inning win for the Padres. Minaya went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 3 walks. So we have the exact same situation in this one that we have in the first game on the board that starts in 8 minutes. And that's game 1, Twins Guardians with Smeltzer and Plesac. Exact same situation. Both pitchers were very good against the opposition here. Gallen went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, 1 homer, 11 Ks, and 3 walks. He's got a 2.92 ERA, 1.01 whip. Padres don't hit righties, 238, 683 OPS. Diamondbacks don't hit lefties, 224, 659 OPS. Padres bullpen, 3.41 ERA, 1.09 whip. That was such a great call you had to get us understanding that this Padres bullpen was elite when their numbers weren't showing that. And the Diamondbacks bullpen has struggled all year, but the back end is quite strong. So go back to that cash flow here and the line history in this one, and then we'll hand it over to you, Pete. So line history-wise, in this Padres Diamondback spot, no movement at all. They're open with a 10-cent move to the Padres, but it's come back. And from a totals perspective, it opened -120 to the over. Now it's -110. So a situation where they believe that these pitchers will have another real nice start here. Let's see what we can find here. We have, again, this was the spot where there was slight line value towards the Diamondbacks. There's only Sports Insights only gave the Phillies legitimate line value today. And the 2 teams that have more than a sliver are the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. 7,553 tickets in, 22% of the tickets, 48% of the cash on Arizona. Then 23% of tickets, 94% of cash on the under. Take it away, Pete. Padres, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I did bet it a little bit. 9 no run in the first inning. I did take a shot with that. Gallen isn't quite lights out, and Manaea can be vulnerable, but we'll see what happens in the later innings. But my analysis and numbers here indicate that a little bit of value on no run in the first inning here. As far as the side and total is concerned, no real opinion. Slightly into the under at 8, but now it's gone down, and slight lean to actually San Diego as a small favorite, but I definitely didn't bet that, and I don't think I'm going to. Manaea and Gallen, I think, will both be okay here. I don't expect either one to get lit up, although it's entirely possible that they could. I did bet no run in first inning, and I might. It's just minus 113 at Pinnacle. I could give that officially, Jim, and I might. Let's see what the comment section is saying.
AOD in the house. Great to see you. I thinking of the situation 5 days ago, was more impressed with Zach Gallen putting it together on the road. I'm going to pull up his home road splits here, but Zach Gallen at home, first 5 at a pick'em. I don't see why I wouldn't want to back him. What is it that would make you not want to back Zach Gallen?
Well, the overall numbers on the year, believe it or not, Jim, you're probably thinking that Gallen is a notch better than Manaea, but overall numbers on the year, they're actually very close, kind of a wash, which doesn't necessarily mean that the current form is a wash, but overall numbers on the year, they're a wash. I wouldn't be opposed to taking Arizona first 5. I'm not going to do it, and you know what? Fuck it. It's just that current line at Pinnacle, no run first inning minus 113. We can make that official. Whatever. Who cares? Whatever.
All right, Pete. No run first inning
minus 113.
113. Huh. Don Max's Gallen 0% soft contact in that game. Johnny Gonzalez says Diamondbacks play their division super tough. Could be a Diamondback spot at home.
Yeah, the problem is just that there's a pretty significant, to put it mildly, bullpen disparity in favoring San Diego.
Definitely. That's the biggest advantage that I see here in this game for sure. The Padres hit righties better than the Diamondbacks at lefties, but that bullpen difference is it. I'd like to be curious to see what it is here for if I wanted to move on this first 5 here on the Diamondbacks. Let me just pull it up quickly. The full game's a pick 'em and the first 5's a pick 'em. God, this is a tricky card today. Bags first 5, and I'll put a bunch of question marks there. Again, back to the cash in this Diamondback spot. We have. Do we have enough here? We have some 22% tickets, 48% of cash. I get that. And then 23% tickets on the under, 94% of cash on the under. Expecting another nice performance. Coin says Manaea was minus 137 at Arizona in April, and now only minus 107. Says line is telling you all you need to know. And Don Max says we could get Machado back as well. Okay, well, that will take more time. Billy Freezer said I like the first 5 under here after hearing everyone talk this through. All right, let's move on to 9:45 p.m. The Detroit Tigers at San Francisco Giants is next up for us. And it brings us to none other than Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. And he's on the San Francisco Giants minus 1. Let's hammer this one. Second to last game on the card. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. These Tigers 10-22 on the road, while the Giants are 20-16 at home. We'll go into the weather in San Francisco to get things started. 59 Fahrenheit, 13.3 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down to 11.5, so it's blowing out. But we know how that wind swirls in Oracle. Now let's take a look at the line history in this Tigers-Giants game. The Giants open up minus 185. They're now minus 200, so a 15-cent move towards them. From a totals perspective, There's been a 5-cent move to the over. It opened minus 120 to the under. It's now minus 115. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. 9,116 tickets in, 84% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants. Then 71% of tickets, 95% of cash on the over. But there's only been a 5-cent move towards that over. Wow. Don Max says Scooball is shook. Let's talk about Tariq Scooball coming off his second straight ugly start. Went 4 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks, and a 6-2 loss at the Red Sox. The Giants do hit lefties, 238, 730 OPS. Still got a 3.63 ERA, a 1.13 whip on the year. Tariq Scooball's allowed 6 home runs and 79 1/3. He's got a great K to walk ratio, 84-17. Still been good, but he's been touched the last 2 starts. Carlos Rodon's coming off a beautiful start in the 4-3 loss at the Braves. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 10 Ks and 2 walks, 2.70 ERA, 1.09 whip on the season, 101 Ks in 80 innings. And you want a few home runs, only 4 allowed in 80 innings. Tigers hitting 262, 689 OPS versus lefties. I want to bet them against lefties. I have a real sneaking suspicion, not even sneaking. I expect we know what they've done against lefties the last few years, and I think they're going to start hitting lefties much harder. And they're hitting them at 262 with a nice average, just with no power, and I think that will change. The Tigers bullpen 3.19 ERA, 1.18 whip, converted 17 of 23 save opportunities. Giants bullpen's been a little better of late, 4.03 ERA, 1.29 whip, converted 16 of 26. My guy Fap win in the house. He's Australian racing at Sandown today. Race 2, he's on the 6 Shakespeare at 6-1. Denero says bounce back for Scooball today. Take it away here, Pete. Very interesting game, Tigers-Giants.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, looking at recent form, it's a no-brainer play on San Francisco, and in general, betting against Detroit is something that I have no problem doing. You make good points, though. I mean, Rodon is tough when he's on his game. Of course, he's lights out, but a blow up is always around the corner, and it can be very frustrating when you get caught expecting another excellent start from Rodon, and it turns into one of those 3-inning, 8-run starts. And if he's off his game, even Detroit, as you said, they have a bunch of righty bats in the lineup. Scooball is, I think he's, I'm going to look into. I haven't had time to look too in depth to see how fundamental his recent struggles have been, but he might be wearing down a bit. San Francisco, though, is like poor man's Dodgers right now. They're, I think, a little bit overvalued offensively. So I don't love betting on the Giants as a huge favorite. It's tough. I think I'm going to, my first thought was obviously just take a shot with San Francisco -1, and if it loses, fine. But I think I might pass on this one. I might have a bet by first pitch. The line is creeping up, though, so that's tough. As of right now, pass for me, Jim.
Yeah, maybe it's a vividness issue for me, but I don't believe that Tariq Scooball is a straight fade. I don't. And I agree. I don't really trust the Giants as this big of a favorite. And you mentioned the right-handed bats the Tigers have in the lineup. They just don't have the power, but that can change. And we have another situation where you'd be sitting here with 90% of the money on the Giants. I mean, you got 91% of the cash on the Giants, 93% of the cash on the White Sox, 95% of the cash on the Rangers, 99 on the Dodgers, 91 on the Cardinals, 92 on the Pirates. Those aren't spots I'd really like to be on. Swaggy D saying the trappiest of traps.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Freer says some Tigers hitters are familiar with Rodon from his time on the White Sox. That's a good point that I wasn't thinking of. Why don't we just quickly go over to those numbers here? We have, why is that? Sorry. Here we go. Against Rodon, yeah, Miguel Cabrera hitting 368. Jonathan Scope, 333. That's about it. And they've not seen Scooball. I mean, the only guy who's seen Scooball is Jock Peterson.
Yeah, it's just the Tigers, they just have a chintzy lineup. And this is coming from someone who bet on them to score against Keuchel in their last game. This is coming from someone who bet on them to score against Zach Davies 2 games ago. But they still had just a very chintzy lineup in general.
All right, we're going to go do a once-over here at the end of this card, but let's talk about this last game. 10:10 p.m. Eastern, Baltimore Orioles 35-40, 17-23 on the road at Seattle Mariners. 34-41, 15-19 at home. This Orioles team has put together a decent season, and their bullpen has been so good. 3.05 ERA, 1.20 whip, and have converted 19 of 24 saves. So impressive. Dean Kramer going up against Robbie Ray. Kramer has been very good, coming off 4-0 win at the White Sox. We know the White Sox don't hit righties, but he went 5 2/3, allowed 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 0 earned runs. 1.71 ERA, 21 innings. He's allowed 1 jack. I know he's not that good, but it's looking good so far this year. Robbie Ray coming off a nice start against the Rays. I believe that's back-to-back nice starts for him. 6 innings for it's 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 2-1 win at the A's. 6-6, 4.07 ERA, 1.18 whip on the season. Still has allowed 14 home runs in 90 2/3. The Orioles 236, 683 OPS versus lefties. The Mariners 238, 706 OPS versus righties. And the Mariners bullpen 3.88 ERA, 1.13 whip, converted 14 of 21. Let's start with the weather in Seattle. 64 Fahrenheit, 12.3 miles per hour out to left center. Stays out throughout the game. Take a look at this line history in this Kramer-Ray spot. We have the Mariners opening up at -170. Within 10 minutes, there was a 15-cent move to the Mariners. -170 to -185 within 10 minutes. But that's come back 20 cents. So it's now -165 since that opening 10 minutes. So since the actual opening, there's been a 5-cent move to the Orioles. From a look at the total, it opened up as a pick'em. There was a slight move to the under 19 minutes in, and it moved back to a pick'em with no movement. So see what the cash has to say about this one. Let's pull this up. This Mariners Orioles spot. 7,010 tickets in. 55% of the tickets and 83% of the cash in on the Orioles. So the Orioles, some big bets have come in on them, and 71% of tickets, 97% cash on the over. Rob Free says, how do you guys feel about the no-run first inning in the Yankees game? I'll bring that back when we do a quick once-over, but take it away here. Last game on the board, Orioles-Mariners.
Yeah, this is a carbon copy of the Charlie Morton game, right? Robbie Ray, actually 3 starts in a row. That's great. So maybe there's like a new shipment of Decadurabolin that Robbie Ray and Charlie Morton got their hands on and turned it around. Ray, of course, very similar to Charlie Morton. I've had a pretty good read on auto fading. When the market was not accurately estimating how vulnerable they were. I'm taking a lot of fades of Robbie Ray, taking a lot of team total overs against him, and first 5 team total overs against him, and last 3 games turned it around. And Baltimore, as people are mentioning in the comments section, is a team that about a month ago I had circled as, and I think I mentioned it on the show as a team that was likely to be undervalued. Maybe they have they have some nice bats in the lineup. They brought up that guy Rutschman. And that's a nice bat. He was struggling a little when he started, but now he's hitting better. So Baltimore is a little bit of a live dog in general, still in my eyes. And Seattle's also a team that I'd be willing to bet on, but just not sure what to make exactly of Robbie Ray here. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. Might have a bet on this one by first pitch, and then the Baltimore starter Kramer is 2 nice starts in a row. And once again, you're getting Baltimore as a big dog. So I don't really want to bet on Robbie Ray as this big of a favorite. Don't really want to be betting against him, though, in light of the turnaround that he's made. Last 3 starts. I guess it's going to be one more pass for me, Jimmy the Bag. A tough card today. I have a few official plays, but a lot of more passes than normal for me on this card.
A very tricky card. Very, very tricky card. In our last Tuesday, we had so much action, but you just have to trust sort of what the league's giving you. The Robbie Ray splits right now, he's been so bad on the road, but at home, 2.84 ERA, and batters are hitting 193 against them with 4 homers and 44 in the third. And when we look at Robbie Ray's last few home starts, versus the Angels, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. Versus the Red Sox, 7 innings, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts.
I mean, let me put it to you this way. I'd definitely be leaning Baltimore at this line, right?
Sure.
because, Ray, who knows what's up with him, but he could easily get matched by Kramer.
Yeah, he could. He could, right? And then
statistically, I would give a solid advantage to, statistically, that is right now, not predictive, not based on predictive stats, but descriptive stats to Baltimore, the lineup. Although Seattle should be better, and I think they will be better.
And all the money's on the over, which takes me off of even liking that first 500. All right, let's do a review. We have Tease ready to go for WNBA play of the day, 6-2 on the show. Let's review action. So we're going to see what happens in game 1 of this Twins Guardians game before moving on game 2. I have interest in the Phillies' first 5, but it certainly wasn't a slam dunk situation. And that's going to take some more study for me. Pete's off that spot. I'm on the A's first 3 plus 140. I'm adding the A's first 3 under 2.5. Rob Free says, how do you guys feel about no run first inning the Yanks game? Noli Nose is on the first 5 under 4. So that correlates with everything that, so I like it. I don't think I'm going to add it, but I like it. Pete, you stayed off that A's Yankees spot. Then Pirates, Nationals, we stayed off, and Red Sox, Blue Jays, we stayed off. Pete, you get your card started with a first 5 team total over 1.5 for the Astros.
Minus 158, yeah. Instead of taking 2.5 plus 130.
Then you're on the Rays first 3 minus 115 and no run first inning in Brewers Rays. And I have interest in the Brewers, but it's going to take more time again for me to sit with Woodruff in this spot. But the Rays are hitting 227, 660 OPS versus righties. They just don't have power against righties. Marlins, Cardinals. There was a lot of cappers on the Cardinals in the chat, and this is a Marlins or no bet for me, but I've no bet it. And Piker says he's going to tail that Crawford play of the day on the San Francisco Giants. I get it. He's been running real nice here on the show. Pete's on this Chicago Cubs at minus 113. I have some interest on the Royals first 5, but do I really want to go against this giant market move towards the Rangers? I mean, I'm going to have to sit with it here for a second.
I mean, I am an inch away from taking Texas first 5 team total over or full game team total over.
Okay. Even though Heasley's been so good at home.
How big is that sample size, Jim? Has he been good at home? He has, his peripherals are just very questionable to me. He has, control issues that make me, I just see him. He's that 3. He had 1 excellent start against Baltimore, no question about it. 7 strikeouts, no walks. And the other one, sure, against Houston, 6-3. That's nice. He just has control issues and hard hit issues that make me want to fade him in general until they get resolved.
Well, I have erased it. So
no, I'm just telling you my thoughts, Jim.
No, I want everything to sort of correlate for me to pull the trigger, and that's how I've been succeeding. And
no, but you're right. The 7-inning shutout start against Baltimore, can't take that away from him.
Dodgers Rockies was a spot that I wanted to have something to do with Rockies or stay off of it. And Ronnie and Bergie also on Texas. Okay, yeah, I've taken it off my card. Swaggy D on Alvarez to hit a homer at plus 300. See, I don't even know, honestly, if 3-1 is enough for me. We're talking the market's saying that he has that he's going to end up this season with 54 home runs in 162 games. Is that enough? I always get nervous if I'm getting enough value on a guy to hit a home run, and it keeps. But I'm off player props these days, as you guys know. White Sox, Angels, I'm off. Pete's on no run first inning at minus 113, and I have interest in Gallen, but question marks beside it. Tigers, Giants, I'm off, and Orioles, Mariners, we're both off. So we didn't illuminate enough for us, but there's our MLB card. Tricky one here. Jerry Young's also on the Rangers run line. Saturated says they're a worse feeling than taking Mike Trout base props and having him intentionally walk twice. As you guys have seen, I just stopped. I just completely stopped. Deacon Mike is on the Cubbies and the team total runs over. He says that Cincy pitcher Castillo has given up 21 hits, 11 runs last 24 innings. Wind blowing out at Wrigley, taking a shot with the Cubs to score over 4. Piker says both starters in that Texas game won their last 3 starts. Too expensive to take Texas here. We've seen a 25-cent move towards them. And Rance is interested in that under in that Rockies game. Well, let's move on to the WNBA. And our WNBA expert has been running very nice with us. 6 and 2, 75% plus 3.86 units, ROI plus 48.25%, average line minus 108. And I know that we have his record here. I just don't know where Jose has it. Unfortunately, I don't know. I can't find it, but I will look as we go because it's a gorgeous record, and I made sure that there were graphics available. While I can't find that, I can find this.
Oh, yeah, I can't get my mouth around that thing. Oh,
but I can't find the record for our next guest coming to us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He has been destroying the WNBA this year. That's what he does. He has a show today at 4 p.m. Eastern. There's 2 games on the card. He's giving us a best bet. Please welcome to the show, Parlay Tease in the house. Oh, let me move that. Sorry, we have some internet issues in San Antonio. I'm learning how to handle this. There we go. Tease, what's up, my man? How are you?
What's happening? Good morning, Pete, Jimmy. Appreciate you having me on.
What's going on, Tease?
What's happening, man? We're ready to make some money today.
Yeah, great calls last week, right?
Yes, and an 8-0 run. Is that right, Tease? An 8-0 run?
Yeah, well, I had Aces let me down last night. Had them first half and full game. You know what? I don't know what the hell I'm going to get the message, but I took the total last night in the Fever Mercury game at 163. It opened at 163.5. That's where I took it. It closed at 169.5. And guess what? I still lost.
Yeah, it's totals can be a battle, and they're in your head because you're just destroying sides right now at such a rate that I can see you're starting to overthink totals, and that's when things get dicey. But regardless of your struggle with totals, your overall record is superlative. So I would just trust any instinct that you have in WNBA completely. There's questions from ESTOKK about how important are their injuries today for the Wings, seeing the line bounce around. For that game, you must watch 4 p.m. today. We got next because today we are talking about one spot, and we always do best bet here on the board. And the best bet is Atlanta Dream 8-10, 3-5 on the road at the Washington Mystics, 12-9, 6-4 at home. We're at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at the market for this one. We have no movement. Opening Atlanta +8. That's where they stand right now. When we take a look at the total, there's been movement there. It opened at 155.5 and has dropped to 153.5. Pete, did you take a look at this Atlanta Dream Washington Mystics game?
Sure. You want me to give my thoughts on it?
Yeah, let's go with you, and then we'll have Tease come in and deliver the goods.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, Washington is off of the huge Vegas win, right? Huge OT Vegas win. Might be a little bit of a letdown spot for them. Atlanta, though, has a lot of injuries, and if they had some fewer injuries, maybe I'd be more interested in backing them. But my first thought on this one is I agree with the under, although it keeps dropping, so that makes me nervous. But my first thought on this one is under, and maybe Atlanta first half or first quarter, unless Tease tells me that they just don't have the personnel to pull that off. The Mystics are just they have a high ceiling, but they're one of these teams. They have a high ceiling, but they just underwhelm and underachieve a lot more than you would expect. They just kind of play down a lot of time to the other team's level. So this might be one of those spots, again, leaning unders and maybe Atlanta first half or first quarter, or maybe for a full game. That's my take on it, Jim.
Well, let's hear what Tease has to say. Here we go, Tease. Dream Mystics, take it away.
Pete can't go before me anymore. Right?
Oh, I have to go second. Is it possible I'm even more of an expert than Cheese? No, go ahead, Cheese. Sure, switch it up. That'd be a massive compliment.
You know, to be honest with you, with Nia Coffey coming back and Erica Wheeler coming back for Atlanta today, they're going to clog the paint up. And you know, every ounce of me wanted to take the under. That was the first look I had, but stayed away. Didn't go on it. I instead jumped on the first quarter plus 155 for Atlanta. You know, I think Washington. You know, Washington's a good team, and if the shots are falling, that's going to lose. But sorry, Natasha Cloud. She's just been terrible shooting. Knock on wood. And I can't trust her to build, you know, to take the shots from the outside. So it's going to force the Mystics inside to EDD or Shakira Austin, or of course Clark, Alicia Clark. Sorry. So you know, that's where this game's going to be played. I firmly believe. So, you know, that's one reason why I like the under. And to be honest with you, and I'm going to throw this out here, we can see where it lands tomorrow. I think this lands around 136, 137. That's what my numbers have it at, but my numbers have been dead off all year. Last year I could hit it right on the number. This year, for some reason, I'm off. So I'm putting that down now. 136, 137 is going to be the total of this game. But I'm not playing it. Just because. So I am on Atlanta first quarter plus 155. And I like Atlanta full game at 8.5. But I'm having issues. I haven't gotten to the window with that yet, just because of the fact that Washington's really a second half team that well, no, they're not. They're a first half team, but I mean they play this. They've been playing. This game's been tough just because of the fact that Atlanta foot drops off in the first half or second half, and they just haven't been playing well. But I really think that the boost with Nia Coffey and Erica Wheeler coming back helps them out. If it doesn't help them out full game, it will help them out early. Normally, I'm on the Mystics first half. I still might get on the Mystics first half, but for right now, the only play I have on this game is the first quarter Atlanta money line.
Very quick question: are they definitely back? Is because I had them as questionable. Couldn't find out. Wheeler's definitely back.
They'll be playing tonight.
Okay, yeah. So just a thought on the total then. Like if Wheeler is back, she's kind of part of what drives their normal, relatively fast pace. You know, so if she's back, that makes me like the under less.
No, I like it more because Washington is a defensive team as well, and Washington to try and dictate the pace. Natisha Wright is, you know, she made a statement at the beginning of the season that if you can't play defense, you can't be on my team. So I expect that, and the defense is kind of left with Erica Wheeler and Nia Coffey, and give me a second while I take a look here because I can't remember or not Nia Coffey, Nia Vaughn. I'm sorry, I keep saying Nia Coffey, Nia Vaughn. You know, with those two back, so I expect their defense to be picked up, and I expect them to control, you know, to try and control the pace, and you know, the way that they've been shooting, they haven't been shooting very well as of late. So I don't expect them to be trying to push the pace in this game. You know, the dream right now are 80. You know, they're second in pace, but they've had a lot of games where they missed a bunch of their players. So their defense is really, you know, really took a hit the past week or two. And you know, you have Washington who's 12th in pace, but when you go to the defensive rankings, you have Atlanta, they're still in first in defense, and the Mystics are second. So you have the number 1 and number 2 defenses on the floor. So I just don't see it getting there. And if you look at the past scores for Washington, especially at home, with the exception of a couple games. They're usually in the 130s, 140s.
What would you think about Washington team total under at like 81 or 80.5?
Let's take a look and see what that is, to be honest with you, so we can. Do you know that that's what it is for real?
Yeah,
or,
like 81, 80.5.
I would actually lean the under on that. I would lean the under, and I hate using the L word. But
Sure.
If I was to play it, I would play the under.
All right, well, Jimmy the Bag, we can go official with me. I'm looking at Will Hill right now. Atlanta Dream first quarter. I'm not going to take plus 160 money line. I'll take plus 2.5 minus 115, Jim.
Plus 2.5 at minus 115. I did find Tease a first quarter plus 167 on the money line. That's at bet 365. Again, Tease running real nice on our show and on his show. Oh, yeah, jump in, my man.
I want the spread too.
Double up.
Just because I couldn't take the spread. I bet it in FanDuel last night, and FanDuel only offered me the money line. So, I mean, I do think that they could win this first quarter, but, for record purposes, I'll take the spread.
So you want both for record keeping purposes or just the spread?
No, just the spread.
Okay.
Yeah, I fall off. I that's my two losses, totals and that second pick.
There you have it. Both Pistol Pete Loshak and Tease on the Atlanta Dream first quarter plus 2.5 at minus 115.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, my man.
I think I might add on the team total under, though, for Washington, 81.5 minus 120. Why would you not like that 10-second analysis, Tease?
It's the only way I'd bet it. I mean, I couldn't talk you off it because if I'm able to bet a team total, which I'm not, I would bet that.
Why would you not love it?
Why would I not love it?
Because of Atlanta's pace, maybe with Wheeler back?
No, not because of their pace, but because Shakira Austin and Alicia Clark, I think they're gonna be getting the ball a lot more in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And with Kia Vaughn just coming back and Erica Wheeler coming back, I think that they would win those battles against two players that are just coming back. That's the only thing that would keep me off it. But if I was able to get it, and this is the weird part because Caesars offers it on their app, but I go to Harrah's to bet it, which is Caesars book, William Hill, Caesars, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, they don't offer it there. They won't let me get it. FanDuel doesn't offer it, so I can't bet it. Or I would bet the under.
One more very quick question. If you look at Washington's, home games this year, they've gotten over 82 against Phoenix. They got to 83, Chicago 84. So they can clearly get, Dallas, Vegas, all in the 80s. Why would you not expect something similar here against Atlanta? Is Atlanta going to play tougher defense and or slow it down in ways that those teams didn't?
Yeah, I think Atlanta will play a tougher defense, and I think the Mystics will try and control the pace to slow the game down because they don't want Atlanta to get in a faster pace. That's how I see this game going. And Jimmy, let me ask you a question. What do you have for first half total?
First half total. Pinnacle has the first half total at 77. Bet 365 has the first half total at 77.
And what's the juice on?
The Pinnacle has a juice to the under, minus 113. Bet 365 has it a minus 110 each way.
Okay. I'm just asking because the first halves are usually faster. And that might be a number I can get behind. The only thing that's making me think twice is that I think this first quarter is going to be a low scoring quarter, but the second quarter will be a little faster.
Tease, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
People are also mentioning that Deladon was maybe going to be held out for precautionary reasons, but now they're saying that she will play. Does that change anything significantly?
No. I mean, I always expect Deldon to play at home. The only thing that would leave her, for Washington to hold her out is because they have the sun coming in on Sunday. So,
Right.
but I mean that's Sunday. This is Tuesday, so there's plenty of time for her to rest and get everything back in shape there. So, yeah, I don't.
All right, Jim, you can throw on Washington Mystics team total under 81.5 minus 120. Current line at Will Hill. Washington team total under 81.5 minus 120. I'll take 2 plays here.
It's minus 130 at Bet365, so you're getting a nice price there. Did you check Pinnacle for that as well? See if they're. Let me just see.
Yeah, they got 80.5 minus 115,
yeah.
so I'm beating the Pinnacle number nicely there.
You are all right, locked in. Tease sitting 6-2, hitting 75% here on the show, and destroying on his show. His show's at 4 p.m. today Eastern. We got next, starring our man Tease. Pete has moved on the same look as Tease. They're both on the Dream first quarter plus 2.5 minus 115, and Pete is adding the Mystics team total under 81.5 at minus 120. G. Martinez reading that Deladon will play the next 3 games. They have the All-Star break coming. Tori Coker also on the Dream plus 8 full game.
Listen to those 2 guys. Those 2 guys are in the chat every day. We got next are very knowledgeable guys. And I knew somebody in the past was asking my record. I have it all figured out up to the 26 and 119 and 62.
Jesus, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's monstrous record. Tease, thank you so much for jumping on for a WNBA best bet. We do have graphics coming for you. And we believe in you, my man. So have a great show today at 4 p.m. And thank you for taking the time to hang out with us. Follow Tease on Twitter at Parlay Tease. Tease, any last words before we put a bow on this bad boy?
Just bet responsibly. And come check out the show. 4 p.m. Eastern. And I really want to answer who was that? EE0K?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to answer his question, but I gotta get you in the chat. Wallaby King, anytime, bro. I appreciate you all. Viper MD, appreciate you, man. Good seeing you. And guys, yeah, please just stop in today and check it out. We give out winners every day. We have a thing called a $2 parlay that I take. I give a play, take play from the chat. The host, the guest gives a play, and we cashed it. We had it up to $60, and I kind of forced it last night with one of Tori Coker, and we fell short. So, it is what it is. The Aces didn't cover for us first half, so they lost by the hook. So come on in, man. And when we do that, I'd like to get it up. It only takes 4 days to get that thing up to a couple grand, and then that couple grand can turn into 12 in 5 days. So we can distribute the money however the chat sees fit. So come on in, let's get that rolling.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. There he is, Parlay Tease, catching today 4 p.m. Eastern right here on Pub Sports Radio. Pete, I enjoy these Tuesdays immensely. You have 4 straight winning weeks, my man.
Yeah, today's dicey. If I'm off on that WNBA stuff, that might scotch the whole day. We'll see. A tough card today, Jim.
Very tough. Very tough. But I love this opportunity here. A little reprieve. And they call it the slow season, but I like it. It's a little reprieve. And NCAA football and NFL football will be here very soon. And then it all winds up again. I love the opportunity to catch up with you, Pistol Pete Loshak. Let's just do one reminder of MLB action. I need Phillies first 5 study, which is what I'll be doing. I'm on the A's first 3 at plus 140. I'm adding the A's first 3 under 2.5. Then we have Pete on the Astros first 5 team total over at 1.5 minus 158. He's on the Rays first 3 at minus 115, and then Pete's on the no run first inning minus 123, which means I should get off the Brewers first 5 because it just doesn't all. I need kind of everything to kind of be together here, and it's not. So I'm probably going to get off that one. Marlins Cardinals, we are off. Pete's on the Cubbies minus 113, and Deacon Mike on the Cubs team total over. Rangers Royals. I erased the Royals from a possible move. Dodgers, Rockies, we stayed off. White Sox, Angels, we stayed off. Pete's on no run first inning at -113, and the Padres, Diamondbacks. I have interest in the Diamondbacks first 5. I'm going to take a little more time with that. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today's on the Giants -1 and Orioles, Mariners. We stayed off. And G. Martinez says, yeah, CFL. What a run we're on. So that's including the 12-1 run that we closed the season on last year. 9-3 this year. That's 21 of our last 25 bets we cashed in CFL, and it feels good. And an important part of CFL that I want you guys to know, because I really think the 9-team league makes it pretty easy for you to get on board with these teams and have a good understanding of them. But the beginning of the season, the end of the season, there are gifts in the CFL, advantages, huge advantages, and things you can take, right to the bank. One of the things that we were talking about yesterday at the poker night, in my poker game, why we were cashing so nicely, is that they just don't have the quality backups in the CFL as they do in other sports. And we had 2 teams in the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats with star centers out of the lineup. And they're just not moving the ball on offense, and their quarterbacks are struggling because of it. And we've taken enormous advantage of it. Whether or not the market will respond now. One of the interesting things was Bet365 didn't put out their CFL. I know they're getting hammered. They didn't put out their CFL action. It wasn't even available last night. So they hadn't put it out yet, and it's finally out today, this morning. It finally came out, which is a sign that they're scared because we're fucking eating. So let's keep eating in CFL. Pete, I love you, my man. Before we put a bow on this, let's give a big thank you to all the cappers in the chat. Viper MB, Billy, Friedrich, Teese, great job. G. Martinez, Ronnie, and Bergia says, love the CFL. Christopher Comentini, Deacon Mike says, I'll be by later to pick you up so I can help him pick up cans along the highway. I'm right there, Deacon. Big Ragu, Wallaby King, Ayo, D, North Ender, Billy Friedrich, thank you for the line shopping help as well. Much love, man. That means a ton to us. The Gas Report, Mally Mal, Dav Fen, Abel Alvarez, Tori Coker, Occupancy, Mark Schillingberg, Dami Gunricci, Joko, all you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Pete, any last words before we put a bow on this bad boy?
Well, Jim, I was cleaning up a little bit last night, and I came across that inside joke in the show that I'm the only one who thinks it's funny, but I do legitimately think it's funny. Those closing words that I wrote a few months ago, so I'll end the show with those closing words. Beautiful. Here we go. I wrote this a few months ago, and it's truer now than when I first wrote it a few months ago. I had a really good time in the video today. You're all really great. You all had a lot of great things to say about the games today, and it was really fun. I hope all our picks win today.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching, Pete. Can't wait to rob with you next Tuesday, Pete. Make it 5 weeks in a row. Let's get that cash. Let's shake. Hey, Lowe's bookmakers.